Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 1252 Sports out of Chicago. I'm Harry the Greek. I'm the resident handicapper. Welcome to the Over Under, my very first show on this platform. How's everybody doing tonight up here in the Midwest and across the country? Tonight, we're going to have a pretty decent show. We're going to be talking about multiple things. We're going to talk about your Chicago Bears and the rest of the teams around the National Football League. We're going to talk a little bit about the baseball playoffs and other teams around the National Football League. And most importantly, this is what the over and under does. In case you do not know, we're going to talk a little gambling. We're going to try to put a little bit of money in your pocket. For those of you who don't know me, I've been on a heater for the past year, had an extraordinary season last year, and I think we're going to have a little bit of fun. This is kind of exciting to me. And you know what's even better yet? I'm going to get to really bust everybody's balls up here in Chicago, because when it's wintertime, I'm going to be doing shows from the beach out here, or maybe from my pool in the backyard from the west coast of Florida. That's right. That's where Harry the Greek lives. Tonight, we have some special guests. I'm going to have Peter Blake. You've never heard of him. He's from the Sports Web. Extraordinary guy. Adam Padermo, a man with tons of knowledge about fantasy football and a little bit of gambling, and occasional people that are just going to come in and say hello. Well, without further ado, before I go ahead and bring someone else in, we have live phone lines here with us. Right at the bottom of your screens, you can dial 727-320-5866. That's 727-320-5866. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. I'm going to have a co-host, Mr. Peter Blake. And if you have a question or comment, make sure you do post it. We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air, and it might give us another subject to talk about, maybe a little different narrative. Make sure you share the show, like the page, follow 1252 Sports, and without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-host tonight, Mr. Peter Blake. Peter, how the hell are you? How's life down here in Florida, brother?
Oh, life is great, of course. Everybody, all eyes down here in the Tampa Bay area. And I know we're on a Chicago platform, but we're looking forward to Sunday night football with the New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady going back to Foxborough. Wow. And on top of it, it's my birthday on Sunday night. So
happy birthday.
Yeah, I already know the Bucs are going to win that game. So
stop it.
Great weather down here. As you know, my friend, I'm excited to be on this show with you. And we go back a long way, so this should be very, very interesting.
Yes, we do. You know, we're going to get to that game a little bit later on, because that is a primetime game, and that is one of my better picks of the week, and it's going to be pretty surprising which way I'm going to go with it, Peter. Again, if you have a question or comment, please make sure you go ahead and use it. By the way, we have a phone call coming through.
Wow.
Guess who it is?
Who is it? Oh, my bad.
Mr. David Schuster, how are you, sir? Live from the press box where the Chicago White Sox play. How you doing, David? Oh, hold on, David. One more time. You know, I think it would work a little better if I actually plugged you in. How you doing, David?
I'm doing great, Harry, and welcome to 1252. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it. Tell me, I see the White Sox are winning 1-0 right now. I'm actually watching them. For people out there that don't know it, I'm an actual Southsider, huge White Sox fan. Yohan Moncada's up at the dish. You got runners at first and third, and there's no outs. What's the mood like out there tonight, David?
It's festive, obviously. The White Sox have already won the division. They're going into the postseason. People got their giveaways tonight. I'm sure they've had a few libations in the interim. So, yeah, it's a festive crowd. There's probably close to 25 going on 30,000 people here tonight.
Wow. You know, David, I want you to say hello to one of my colleagues. His name is Peter Blake. He's part of the Sports Web down here. It's a pretty big show down here in the greater Tampa Bay area. And he knows quite a bit about you. And I know he's kind of seething because he's a huge Tampa Bay Rays fan. And when you said 25,000 people, he's like, hell, that might be 5 games down here.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hello, Peter. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy. How are you doing? And the White Sox came down here a couple months ago, and it was full crowd, but a lot of those fans were White Sox fans. And honestly, David, I got to tell you, I think the White Sox have a great opportunity to go far in this postseason, even against the Rays. Those two teams, I really feel like, could be in that ALCS we're talking about here. eventually. But a big fan of your work, and man, just glad to talk to you finally here on Harry's show.
Well, my pleasure also, Peter. And first of all, Dave Wills, who of course is the Tampa Bay Rays radio announcer. He is from the Chicagoland area. I've known him a long time. I've worked with him for a long time. In fact, he's a Southsider and is a big White Sox fan. But obviously, if or when the Rays and the White Sox meet in the postseason, he'll obviously be rooting for his hometown, now hometown Rays. So yeah, it should be interesting. The White Sox, like every other team, it'll all depend on their pitching ultimately. That's the name of the game, not only in baseball, but even more so in the postseason. Lance Lynn so far tonight through 3 innings has only allowed 1 hit. I'm pretty confident he will be the game 1 pitcher, then probably Giolito in game 2, and then Rodon if he continues to be healthy. And, he certainly passed the test the other night. He'll go in game 3. That's the best of 5 series, so they'll only need 3 starters in that opening round.
That brings me up to another question. That's a really great insight. Thank you. What is wrong with Carlos Rodon? They brought him back in. He pitched incredible, but his velocity was down, significantly.
Well, he did pitch the other night. He passed the test. He came out of the game with no soreness. That was the problem. He missed some time, not once, but twice here at the tail end of the season with some shoulder stiffness or soreness. But again, he went 5 innings the other night and only allowed 1 hit. So I'm sure he passed the test at least as far as that. He'll get plenty of rest before he has to go in game 3, which would be a week from Sunday. So he would have the better part of 2 weeks to rest up. But again, it's all depending on health, and it all depends on pitching. But as of right now, without Tony La Russa saying so, I'm pretty confident that those will be the 3 pitchers in the postseason.
Last question about the White Sox. Who do you think is going to be the ALCS? We already know it's predetermined the Chicago White Sox are going to be taking on. No, it's actually not taking on. There's a possibility they're more than likely going to be on the road going to Houston. Who do you like in that series?
50-50, honestly. It's a rematch of the 2005 World Series.
Yep.
I was there. The White Sox, have a winning streak in the postseason against Houston for what it's worth. But again, it always comes down to pitching. Then, of course, I think Tampa Bay will beat whoever the wild card team is. Might even be one of the teams from their own division, whether the Yankees, the Red Sox, or even the Blue Jays. So that'll be really interesting. In the National League, it's really, really interesting. The Cardinals are obviously the hottest team in baseball right now. And for all that 17-game winning streak, they're going to get a 1-game appearance in Dodger Stadium, likely against Max Scherzer. How would you like to have had a 17-game winning streak and still have to face Max Scherzer to advance on? And then if the Dodgers win that wild card game, as I anticipate that they will, they'll be the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing because they have so much pitching and their rosters is loaded up and down. So I hope the White Sox make it to the World Series. It would be fun if that were to be the case, and I'm sure this place would be sold out. So that would be fun too.
Unreal.
I tell you what,
tough.
I saw that kid Tim Anderson for you guys. He is unbelievable. Dave, talk about how important he is to that roster, and what do you think he can do in this postseason? Because I really think a lot of people don't get the opportunity to see how talented this kid is. So you'll kind of educate everybody out there how talented he is and what we're in store for during this postseason.
Incredibly talented. Obviously, he won the batting championship in the American League just a couple of years ago. He's hitting 300 plus right now. He's playing tonight. He's got a double and a single already in his first 2 at-bats. He's incredibly important to this roster. He's a leadoff hitter. He's one of the leaders. Offensively, he's, emotion is off the charts with this guy. Him and Jose Abreu are the MVPs of this team. There's no question about it as far as I'm concerned. And he's healthy, which is really key also. Now, it's really interesting. He talked to the media before the game. He was handed a 3-game suspension because in that last game in Detroit the other day on Monday, he did bump an umpire, and he admitted as such during that scrum after the play at second base with Abreu. Both benches and bullpens emptied. And Anderson said he was pushed by one of the umpires who was probably trying to get him out of the fray. And Anderson admitted, yeah, he pushed him back, but he didn't know it was him. But he said the umpire actually instigated it. So he is appealing that suspension. I'm sure 3 games will be knocked down to 2, but he's not going to do it here at the end of this regular season. It'll be at the start of next season. So he's going to have plenty of rest going into the postseason game starting next, what would it be? It'd be next Wednesday and Thursday in Houston, or next Thursday and Friday in Houston, before they come back here for game 3 on Sunday, likely late afternoon or into the evening.
Wow, pretty interesting. Last question for you. I'm going to let you get back to the game. By the way, the White Sox are still winning 1-0. How they didn't score, I have no idea. The elephant in the room: Justin Fields, Andy Dalton. Who's starting? Why?
I'm pretty sure it's going to be Fields. I mean, that's an educated guess. They had both guys trotted out to the media earlier today. Of course, Matt Nagy said it'll be a game time decision, but it's everything to do with health. Dalton was limited in practice this week. Fields took all the snaps pretty much with the first team. So unless they're hiding something, which, actually happens a lot in the NFL.
No.
I'm going to guess it'll, well, yeah, you know that better than I do, actually. I'm pretty confident it'll be Fields. And they sort of let loose that there was a lot of discussion, especially in the quarterback room and with the offensive players, that a lot of the players, were a little miffed at what the game plan was against Cleveland the other day. And that tells me that if it's going to be Fields, and I think it will, there'll be a change in the game plan, and you'll see this guy rolling out a lot more, which plays to his strength. I mean, sitting that guy in the pocket with a terrible offensive line, you're just going to get the guy killed. So,
Yeah.
If he's a starter, I'm pretty confident that he'll be rolling out a lot more.
I don't really understand the game plan at all, but of course, me and Harry will get into that. But do you believe the rumors here, Dave? Do you feel like Matt Nagy is going to be on the hot seat here, especially if they lose to a Lions team that, look, you compare them, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Jets, they're trying their best to be the worst team in the NFL so they can get one of these top quarterbacks. So do you believe in that rumor that Nagy's on the hot seat?
I think, ultimately it'll depend on the end of the season record. I don't think he's going anywhere right now. I mean, even if they were to lose to Detroit, he's not going anywhere now. The Bears just don't make moves like that in the regular season. They just don't. However, at the end of the season, let's just say they have a 4-13 record. It might be so bad that maybe, and even hopefully, to be honest with you guys, both he and the general manager will be on the hot seats, because neither one of them is to my cup of tea.
Really good. David, I do sincerely appreciate it. Actually, I have a sound effect for you before you go. I think you're going to get a kick out of it.
Okay. Really hard to hear, but I think that was a choo-choo train.
Yes, it was. It's the Schuster Express.
Love it. Love it, man. Thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate it.
David, thank you so much
guys.
for coming on. Keep up the great work. We'll see you soon, and thank you for the warm welcome.
Okay, guys. You take care. Have a good
Take
night.
care. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Mr. David Schuster, 1252's very own, Chicago's very own, been an icon in this area for a long time. Yes, I did say the word icon, I got to kind of warm up to him. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the actual CEO of 1252 Sports for a second. We kind of, get it off the rails a little bit every time he comes on. I think he wants to go ahead and meet you. Mr. Fat Mike himself. Fat Mike, Peter Blake, how are you?
What's going on, guys? How we doing? I'm
doing fantastic. And Mike, guess who else I'm bringing in? You ready? Mr. Adam Padermo. And look what hat he's wearing.
Here.
Okay, hang on.
Double trouble
Mike,
here.
Here you go, Mike. What would you like to say about that hat?
I hate every single New York sports team evenly across the board. Can't stand them.
I love you too, Mike.
Here we go, Fat Mike. Sports fan. Here you go.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Exactly.
This is unusual,
Exactly.
Mike. I'm really pretty affluent with StreamYard, and for some reason, everything says Facebook user. But I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the comments. Facebook user, how you doing, Facebook user? Thank you for tuning in to 1252 Sports. Harold, I'll be watching. There's only one person that calls me Harold. He's up just north of the Chicago area. And I'm going to say that's Mr. Banner himself. Banner, if you want to call into the show and say hello to your boy, dial 727-320-5866, 727-320-5866. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, alongside with Mr. Peter Blake, Adam Padermo, and the owner of 1252, Mr. Fat Mike himself. Facebook user, again, how you doing? Much love, Chicago. Facebook user again, Bears. Bears all the way. Yeah, you already know.
Willie Geo, actually. That's Willie Geo. I actually got it on my cell phone here. What happens is StreamYard, you have to push on a link, I guess, when you get into the live here comments, and then push on the link. So I can go ahead and read the names if you want.
Oh, sounds good. The next one is
Chicago Bears, Willie Geo.
Facebook
there
user.
you go, Willie. Thank you very much. And we got Chicago wins. Another Facebook user.
Willie Geo again.
How does Nagy still have a freaking job? You know what? I am not going to let the guy sitting to my left right now even comment on that, okay? Because I'm telling you, it'll take about an hour.
Well, that's Tom Banner right there, not to be confused with Bruce Banner. But I agree. I mean, honestly, I don't understand how Nagy still has a job at all. I felt like he should have lost his job from last year with his development of the previous quarterback you had there in Mitchell Trubisky. That didn't work out. So, hey, let's go ahead and let him ruin another young quarterback in Justin Fields. And, you know, that's not the game plan, Chicago Bears fans. You want to see you have a mobile quarterback and you allow him to sit in the pocket. You don't even move him around at all. You let him get sacked. You basically let him out there in the pocket instead of move around against a very good Cleveland Browns defense with a turnstile offensive line that can't block a Myles Garrett. I don't understand how Matt Nagy, if he does not beat the Detroit Lions on Sunday, how he's not fired. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to agree with that. And before I go to Mike, sorry, I have to go to Adam because the Mike one is going to be for the ages.
I'll be right back. I got to go vomit really quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, God.
No. I completely agree with what Peter Blake said. You know, if David Montgomery doesn't get this ball 25 times in this game on a Detroit run defense that's ranked 24th in the NFL, Matt Nagy shouldn't have a job. They need to run this football against this weak defense that they're going against Sunday. I can tell you that right now.
Well, you know what? And that's really good that you mentioned it. And of course, he really did have to go throw up. Are you kidding me? Peter, give me a sound effect for Fat Mike.
Oh, God.
Let's see here. How's that?
Oh, there you go.
I mean, and that's kind of what Bears fans were doing after that debacle by the offensive staff. I mean, 26-6, 4.5 sacks by Myles Garrett, 9 sacks in total. I get it. He's a young quarterback. He's going to go through his lumps, but you don't want to get him killed in his first start.
No,
and you're exactly right. You try to run the ball. You have David Montgomery, who's very talented. When you run the ball, you have to run the ball to take the pressure off of a rookie quarterback. The running back is the rookie quarterback's best friend. What are we talking about here? Fat Mike.
Listen, I was at that game on Sunday, and that was not a pretty game to be a part of. It truly was not a nice game to go and watch and sit there for 60 minutes and watch the Bears just get their brains beat in all over First Energy Field. This O-line is terrible, guys. I know it doesn't start with the O-line, but, I mean, you have to have a good O-line to move the football, plain and simple. And it doesn't help that Matt Nagy he couldn't call a Pizza Hut to place an order for a stuffed crust, let alone call a play. I mean, that's where I look at it at this point. This guy, I know I've said this numerous amounts of times, he couldn't coach himself out of a wet paper bag. And I really mean that. I'm so done. It's to the point now, me as a diehard Chicago Bear fan, I mean, diehard. I've watched Chicago Bears football religiously for 20 years of my life, every single Sunday. And I'm tired. I can't even be pissed off about it anymore. I'm just tired.
You know,
I'm tired of the same shit week in and week out. Drives me back.
You know, Mike,
Go ahead, Harry. I'm sorry.
I got to tell you, man, there's a reason why I'm bringing other people onto this platform. You know, it's an outside perspective looking
I don't
in.
bitch about Matt Nagy the entire night.
No. Peter Blake, there's a gentleman in my back room. There's going to be another one coming in the back room in a little while. They know a little bit about losing, okay? Honestly. They know a little bit about losing. And it's not all lost. And we're going to get to this a little bit better. And I promise you, if anything, this show is going to be kind of therapeutic because it's not as bad as what you think. They still have a really good defense. And this is the consensus of people that are not actually in the Chicago market. Kind of makes sense. You know what I'm talking about, Mike? And, you know, I'm going to let Peter elaborate on that a little bit. Adam, I want to get to a segment with you. I'm just going to put you in the back room for a second. And, of course, we're going to have to get tormented from people from the Tampa Bay area. And there's nothing wrong with it. I live here. I love Champa Bay. Yes, I did say that with a C, Champa Bay, because it's almost kind of envious. You have, you know, back-to-back, no matter what you call it, Mike, NHL champions. You have a Super Bowl champion in Tampa Bay. You had a
Cheating
previous
fuckers.
last year's that went to the World Series with the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, why wouldn't people be envious of this? Seriously, why wouldn't people be envious of this? They have to be. Okay. I am true blue Chicago. Mike, you know that. Born and raised in the South Side. Never, ever, ever once have I ever veered from my loyalties with the Chicago Bears and the Chicago White Sox. But I've lived in Florida for so long. And being on this previous platform, I really became a pretty decent fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. I mean, you look what they did. You came on the program and you were talking about Tom Brady. How can you not be a fan? You have to be 44 years old, throwing the football all over the place. It's just incredible, what this team has actually been able to do. And the amount of losing that team went through, you think the Bears had it hard? Holy cow, Mike. It's actually impossible. Adam, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the back room. I'm going to go ahead and bring someone in so he can go ahead and say hello. He's never been part of it before. I'm going to go ahead and bring someone in because I know he just wants to wish me well. Mr. Stephen Glasker, how are you, sir?
What's going on? How you guys doing?
And not much, buddy. I am so glad you decided to come on and say hello to me, buddy. This is Fat Mike. I'm sure you know who he is.
Love Fat Mike. That's my guy.
Yes, he is.
That's my
Hey,
dude.
got a question for you.
What's on, Steven? How we doing, man?
What up, Peter? How you doing, brother?
Oh, Mike, your mic's starting to jam up on you, and so's your video. Okay? Now you look better. Hey, got a question, Steve. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, even Peter was touching on it a little bit. What do you think? Who should start and why for Chicago? Would it be Justin Fields or Andy Dalton? And I know you hate Dalton, but you got to admit he didn't look that bad in the games that he did play in.
Okay. I'm going to tell you my answer, honestly. And first of all, hey, Peter, what's up, boy? How you doing?
What's up, Steven? How you doing, buddy? Good to do a show with you finally.
I forgot
Yeah,
that.
no, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
I forgot to introduce you guys. I'm sorry.
Well, we know each other. I used to call into the show all the time. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He absolutely used to call into the show, but never did a video show with him before. So it's good to hear from you again, bud. You're doing
Good to
great.
see you, brother.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All
Oh,
right.
there he is. Look who it is,
What's
Steven.
going on, Steve?
What's going on, brother? Hey, I'm going to Harry asked me a question about who I think should start and why.
Yes.
I think Justin Fields should start. And here's my philosophy. It really comes down to the Russell Wilson philosophy. If you know the guy you have that you haven't started is better than the guy you're starting, stop being a puss and just start the guy.
Okay.
I just believe if the more talented person should start. I also believe Nagy should be fired because I think he sabotaged Justin Fields. I flat out believe he did because he gave him a game plan that was built for Andy Dalton without utilizing any of Justin Fields' skills. And then the line was ridiculous. It was like paper mache where they ran through him. Nagy should be fired. They should start the better quarterback because the only way for rookies to learn is to learn. You saw what happened last night with Trevor Lawrence. He looked atrocious the first 3 games. He's a rookie. The 4th game, he looked pretty good. Even though they lost, he looked pretty good.
I absolutely agree. And you know what? I got to tell you, and that also goes back to it. I'm 1 for 1 for the week. Okay.
Nice.
I had a very small position on Jacksonville winning the game on the money line, but it was small. Okay. No, but I absolutely loved the 7.5 points, man. You just couldn't help it. Adam, I'm going to bring you in the back. I'm sorry I got to kick you out. I got to bring the owner and the platform up here. You know how that goes. And quite honestly, if he's down there, I don't know if there's going to be enough room for all of us in this picture. nothing personal, Fat Mike. But hence,
No, it's
hold
cool.
on,
I
hence
get
the
it. I
word-
understand. I get
Hey,
it.
Peter, when he got up and left, what was Fat Mike doing? Oh,
Yep.
Hey, Mike, I got you, bro. I got you. You have to put up with that.
We're going to go back to some of the comments really quick. Facebook user says Chicago Bears win 27-20. Actually, that is a very, very close number. What I was thinking, I will give that out at the end of the day. Chicago Clubhouse Podcast says share the show. Absolutely. This is how you grow organically. Make sure you hit the like button. Share the show. Let's just keep on building this and let's keep the train rolling. Chicago Clubhouse says, again, share the show. That was me, Sports Entertainment. Vern F. I remember Schuster from WSCR. You must be old. Only kidding you, David. Ben Cornett, how you doing, Ben? Thanks
What
for
up,
watching.
man?
For the first time in NFL history on Sunday, the Lions and Bears will have 2 coin flips before the game. One for who gets the ball, and the other to see who will be the starting quarterback for the Bears. That's a good one.
That's
Ben
good.
Cornett says, honestly, who's worse, Nagy or Mark Trestman? Oh my God, it's got to be Trestman. Mike,
No, man.
what?
No, I'm telling you, Mike. I don't know if you heard what I said before. Before when you came on a previous show we had, and you talked about Nagy and how
It's
much.
okay. You can say Bucks report. It's not a
Oh,
problem.
okay,
It's
cool.
not a
You
taboo
came on
word.
Bucks report, and you talked about how much you hate Nagy, and you're dropping those F bombs, which I love personally. I was like, oh, maybe he's exaggerating, but after I watched that last game, no one's going to be able to convince me he did not sabotage Justin Fields. I just don't believe it.
Well, it almost seemed like that being there live.
No, because see, in Nagy's mind,
It almost seemed like
he
that being
knows
there
the
live.
he knows the fans want Justin Fields, and he believes I'm starting Andy Dalton. I don't care. So when Andy got hurt, well, I'm not going to let the fans win. I'm Matt Nagy. I know what's right. So he set up a game plan purposely designed to make the kid look bad. I have zero respect for the man. I can't see that. Mike, put him in front of a bus and just let it go at about 60 miles an hour.
Man, I can't see that because then I would say that the coach gave up. I mean, who really wants to lose their job? I just think it was poor execution. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me.
Even
that's the thing, though, Harry. I don't think that he will lose
Nagy
his job.
said he gave the wrong game plan. He admitted he had the wrong game plan.
Well, I understand that, but I don't think he did it maliciously, though. And
Yeah.
I do need, before I go any further, because I just wanted to give a special shout out and thanks to the people at Bucks Report. You guys gave me my first opportunity there. That wasn't anything that was supposed to be snide. Seriously, thank you very much. I miss everybody over there. Dude, thank you for the opportunity you gave me for what I did over there. And you know what? I just wanted to go ahead and give you a hats off. Dude is not a slanderous word. Dude is an actual name of a person that owns Bucks Report. Anyway, thank you so much. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead, Steven.
Nice class act there. Now, I want to hear what Fat Mike has to say because I agree with him on this deal.
See, like I said, I was there a lot on Sunday. It didn't look pretty. That's for damn sure. It really did not. It did not look pretty at all. I watched a person that I thought was an absolute buster in the NFL over the last 5, 6, 7 years is Jadeveon Clowney. And that guy, he's worth every single penny that the Cleveland Browns are paying him because exactly what he does is it frees up Myles Garrett. And that's something that the Chicago Bears are trying to mimic here with this Bears team, with Robert Quinn and with Khalil Mack.
Well, you're going to have a lot of that this week coming up.
Going back to the game plan of Matt Nagy. Well, I mean, you would hope so. Right? I mean, but let's see what happens here. To me, this game against Detroit is a complete trap game. But back to what you were saying, Steven, about how it seemed. I was saying that in the third quarter where it seemed intentional. It really did. I mean, every single third down, there was 30 called drop back plays for Justin Fields. And on 21 of those plays, he had 5 blockers.
I agree. They also
how can you succeed if you aren't giving him the personnel to protect the future asset of what you have here in Chicago?
Yeah,
there was 3 times specifically that I thought that Justin was not going to get up. Watching it live, not on television. Okay, this is just me. And now I was in the fucking bleeds. Okay. But there were 3 times where I thought that he got hit. I was like, there goes our quarterback of the future. He's fucking done. Achilles, torn ACL. And it broke my heart watching that game. It was like watching the fucking New England Patriots against the Sisters of the Nazarene, for crying out loud. Yep. It was terrible. That was the poor showing of the Chicago Bears, and it was terrible play calling by Matt Nagy.
And Harry, you want to know who else agreed with that, Mike? There were about 2 or 3 coaches. I think it was ESPN or I can't remember if it was ESPN or NFL. They were watching the game going, man, that's not the game plan they should have had for Justin Fields. That seems like even they were saying it seemed like Nagy put in the wrong game plan.
Look, I agree with it. Hey, Mike, I'm going to have to put you in the back room for some reason, and I don't know if you can hear me or not. You're completely frozen. You want to get back off? I mean, if you want to come on. If not, it's not a big deal. All right.
I just want
Now
to
we're
say
back.
this. I kind of sympathize with Chicago Bear fans because, like you mentioned, Harry, Bucks fans know all too well with the development of a young quarterback. The Bears haven't been able to do that. And what Fat Mike was saying about, oh no, here's our future basically going down the drain. I can hear Chicago Bear fans, just like Buccaneer fans, say, oh no, not again,
Right.
because you're not able to develop a young quarterback. And that's what you're trying to do. But you don't do that by going with 5 offensive linemen. You go with pass protection, you run the ball, you have some type of balance. If you have that balance to your game, then basically it takes the pressure off of a Justin Fields. He doesn't have to throw, which eliminates turnovers, which also eliminates the defense from having the opportunity to get after him. And they didn't do that. And I don't understand why, for a kid that basically is coming in and doesn't really know the playbook that well. This was terribly designed by Matt Nagy. And look, this is the National Football League. You have to start your quarterback right away. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, maybe the exception there. 1 year, Alex Smith starts. But everybody else, you look around the NFL. Joe Burrow started his first year. Trevor Lawrence is starting his first year. And you can see flashes of brilliance. And you see all those teams at the end of the day. You look at what happened with Cincinnati. When you don't put an offensive lineman around a guy, the guy goes out with a knee injury. You can't do that. The same thing could be done with the game plan. If you run the ball, if you're pass protecting him, if you're not letting him single block your left tackle on, a Myles Garrett, that would probably be good. That'd probably be a good game plan not to have, honestly.
Look, I agree.
Everything he said.
You agree, yeah, but now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of disagree, but not really disagree. And I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to bring Adam again. Adam, how are you? You got anything to add to this? All right, off with your head. Sorry, Adam. It's okay.
No. It's all.
Will you shut up? Like you would always say. I love doing that. But anyway, seriously, Adam, what do you got?
I mean, when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, I can tell you right now, seeing what Joe Burrow is doing in Cincinnati right now is amazing. And giving that young man, the key to the Ferrari, to that offense, and seeing him being a game manager. I mean, he came back a different quarterback the second half. Is Justin Fields going to be that type of person? And when you talk about Joe Burrow was putting passes right there on the money for each receiver in the second half. I mean, he's been doing that all year, except for the Bears. Now, is Justin Fields going to be that type of quarterback? We don't know unless somebody strips the play calling away from Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy cannot call plays, and he cannot continue to call plays for the rest of the year. And I can tell you that.
All right, guys. All right. For the first time, you are going to get a Harry's hot take. You guys ready?
Yep.
I call BS.
Uh-oh.
He is not the play caller that he was a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened. I really don't. Last night, I was on Alan's show. It's called Bears with a Brain. I think it's what it was called. He had Warwick Coldman on, and we had a really, really concise, very, very good conversation. And we were talking about certain things that these Chicago Bears were doing wrong. But there was one thing I brought up, and even Warwick had to agree with me. There is never a perfect game plan. It's only perfect execution. With that being said, there is not a left tackle in the National Football League, especially a third-string left tackle, a guy that's 39 years old. God bless him. I'll tilt my hat off to him and tip it because at least he's still to get out there to try to play. But there's not one left tackle, Peter, you know I'm going with this, that can stand and block a defensive end or a speedy outside linebacker, man up, play in, play out the entire game. If there's maybe one, there may be two of them in the entire National Football League. Yes, this was horrible play calling. Horrible. And they have a running back by the name of David Montgomery that is very rarely used. Okay? Right. Rarely used. And you've got to get him more involved in the game. This game coming up this Sunday is not the game that people are thinking they're going to see again from this past in Cincinnati. And if they are, I am going to jump on everybody's bandwagon and join the parades with the pickets like everybody else and says, fire Nagy. But I'm not going to condemn this coaching staff. I'm not going to condemn this team. when you have a championship, let me go ahead and say it again, a championship caliber defense. It needs a little bit more work in the secondary. You do have Eddie Goldman, has been announced, by the way, guys. Moses parted the seas, and he's finally coming out of a temporary retirement, and he's going to plug the middle of that field. Now you're going to see a Khalil Mack and a Robert Quinn. But wait a minute. You've seen them the first 3 games. These guys have been very effective. Defense is going to play great. They're going to run the football. And this time, if you have Justin Fields in the back and you want to use him as QB1, make sure you're running the football and you're designing a lot of rollouts. If they lose this game, bye-bye, Matt Nagy. Don't let the door kick you in the ass on the way out. That's what I got to say about this entire thing. And don't bet the game yet. I'll tell you how to do that in a little while.
All right.
Steven, what do you got?
Add something to that. I hear what you're saying.
Hang on. Adam, I'm going to bring you in the back for a second. I got to take precedence. The Godfather's here. I got to kiss the ring a little bit. You understand?
Yeah. Fuck it, bring Adam back on too. We can all fit on this bad boy. I mean, I'm not that big for crying out loud.
I'm not going to
now watch this. Poor, between you and Steve, the kid's going to suffocate. Look at this.
See, look, it's all right. Look at him. There we go.
No, man, I can't do it.
I'm not that important. I'm not that important.
It's too much, man.
Stop it. Stop. Hey, by the way, I just want to say thanks for having me. I'm super excited for you and Fat Mike and the new show. Awesome guys. I mean it sincerely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple of things to say. I'm willing to go your route, Harry, and say, okay, let's see what Matt Nagy does this week. But see, my problem with Matt Nagy is he has a little bit of Belichick in him. I know best. F the rest of you. And
wait. Whoa.
No, he's talking about the attitude, Mike.
The attitude.
Matt Nagy?
Yeah, he's got an attitude. That's all it is. He's got a little. He doesn't know how to check his attitude at the door like most head coaches do.
That's what I'm talking about. I think he's bothered that everybody keeps telling him he needs to start Justin Fields when he doesn't feel like he needs to start Justin Fields. And that's why I think he was a little sabotagey. I agree with that. I love everything Peter said. I'm with. We'll see. We'll see what he does. And I agree with everything you said about defense, Harry. Chicago has a very nice defense.
Yes, they do.
Guess what? So did the Colts when Andrew Luck played with them. And he got hurt.
Yep.
And he's gone.
Yep.
So it's nice to have a great defense. You ain't got nobody throwing the ball. Big deal. And I love what Fat Mike said. 3 times he thought their quarterback in the future was out. That's coaching. That guy's got to go.
He does, and I agree. But and I'm going to make that. Listen, off air, I am probably the biggest critic. But you know what? Peter and if anybody's going to understand this, Peter Blake is going to understand this. You still have to support your team. You can be critical, but you still have to support them. You have to find that silver lining that you may think that could be nice. Otherwise, why the hell do you watch the game?
Well, the silver lining, guys, is the defense. And, being a Bucs fan and covering the Bucs for so many years, we're used to that with the defense carrying the day. But what I can tell you is that eventually in that locker room, the defense is looking at the offense and saying, what are you helping us? What are you doing? What is this coaching staff doing? And then eventually all the players in that locker room just shut the coach down. And you need a new voice at that point. You need new energy. You need new juice. That's what happened down here with Tony Dungy. Great defense, but could never do anything on offense. The defense had to carry the day, and it got old. And then you had to bring in a John Gruden and surrender draft picks. So it's bound to happen. It's a shame because you're basically wasting a great defensive effort every game because your offense is so anemic.
Mike?
I mean, you're nailing it right on the head. But at the same time, all these woes with Matt Nagy aren't just stemming from this year, guys.
Yeah,
Right.
It's from last year as well. That's what you guys fail to realize. It carried over from last year to this year.
Right.
All right, we saw him. Okay, now I was never a big proponent or a big fan of Mitchell Trubisky by any stretch of the imagination. I watched him in training camp sail balls over wide receivers and just drop them into the dirt 5 yards before their hands. All right, so I knew that Trubisky wasn't going to be a starting quarterback in this football league. Okay, but it carries over because he didn't even the things that Mitch Trubisky did well, Matt Nagy wouldn't allow him to do. The rollouts, the getting out of the pocket to extend a play. Okay. It's almost the same shit that Justin Fields can do.
Yeah.
All right. And what did we see this past Sunday in Cleveland? We saw Justin Fields sitting in the pocket, doing his thing, and getting fucking turfed.
Yeah.
All right, I'm pretty
No
sure he's
roll. There was
I'm
no
pretty sure
rollout.
half of the one out of his jersey is still stapled in the middle of the fucking 50-yard line out there. All right, let's get real here. I'm telling you,
It's almost
Yeah.
like having Lovie Smith again, right? I mean, honestly.
yeah, I mean, honestly, yes, in a way, Peter. Yeah, I mean, you ain't joking. I mean, look, if you go back to those years with Lovie Smith,
Yeah.
with having that amazing fucking defense,
Mhm.
how many offensive coordinators did he have, for crying out loud?
Right.
The
I
same
mean,
thing
let's
with Aaron
fill
Donald.
that in.
Yeah, I mean, and the same thing with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston could be mobile. No, we want to keep him in the pocket. Why? The guy is mobile when he's able to make things happen. And then on top of it, you get rid of a Darrell Revis. Why do you get rid of a Revis? Well, he can't play the Tampa 2. Well, find a way to
Right.
make it work. If you're a great coach, you always go back to Bill Walsh, right? The grandfather of coaching. West Coast offense. I'm going to draft Joe Montana in the 3rd round. He doesn't have a great arm, but I'm going to build the offense around him. I have a West Coast scheme, and I'm going to get Jerry Rice, who's not necessarily fast, but I'm going to use him on slants. That is great coaching. Use the
Yes.
components that you have. You
Right.
try to
I agree. Everything.
focus
Oh,
on the
for fuck's
strength.
sake, look what Brian Dayball did up there. I'm sorry, Steven, I didn't mean to cut you up, but look what Brian Dayball's done up there with Josh Allen.
Yes.
The first 2
Yeah.
years in the league,
Yeah.
Buffalo as an entire city fucking hated Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And you look at it now, last year he was a legit. I mean, he could have fucking he had to finish top 5 in MVP. No,
He did. I think he finished second.
And Mike, I
Right.
tell you right now, with his development in Buffalo, he would be a prime candidate. The only thing you would look at as fans would be like, oh, no, not again, because Matt Nagy, when he was coming out as a coach, he was a guy that was supposedly behind the Patrick Mahomes development. But I absolutely agree with you. Dayball should be
A-
right on their list as number
a
one.
guru is what
Yeah.
they called Matt Nagy.
Right.
A guru.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
The only thing he's a guru of is fucking sucking.
Hey,
But
hey, listen.
Hey,
Since we're talking about that, I have to go ahead and pay some of the bills here. 1252 Sports was brought to you by Everybody Stand By for 30.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Thank you for watching 1252 Sports with the over-under. We're not going anywhere right now. We just took a little time out. I'm Harry the Greek. I'm your host. You have a question or a comment, dial 727-320-5866. If you can't hear me, go ahead and just read it at the very bottom. Or go ahead and leave a comment. We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air. May even give us a different narrative to go ahead and speak about. To my right is going to be Mr. Peter Blake. Below me, Mr. Fat Mike and Steven Glasker. Guys, we're going to go ahead and get back to some of the comments. Ben Cornett, we already read it. Who's worse, Nagy or Mark Trestman? Round the horn, no explanation. Who's worse, Peter?
Nagy, absolutely. With the talent they have here, already going through 2 quarterbacks, possibly getting 2 quarterbacks killed. You invest all these high draft picks. You thought with getting him from Kansas City, you would have all this imagination. He has no imagination at all. Absolutely Nagy at this point.
Perfect. Adam. There you are.
I got to go with Nagy. Nagy is the worst of the worst. I can tell you right now. So
Okay. I don't quite. I'll give my opinion in a minute. Steve?
I agree with everything Peter said, word for word. And I don't believe Mark Trestman would have tried to get one of his quarterbacks hurt just to prove the point.
I got to go with Nagy.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Mike?
Can I just say that they both were dog shit?
Okay. That was there you go.
Can I say that? Mark Trestman, I mean, this guy couldn't command a locker room if his life depended on it. Matt Nagy is almost at this point, They both suck. They both have so many weapons. If you compare the two, look at what Trestman had. He had Cutler, he had Brandon Marshall. He had so many offensive weapons on that side of the ball and a really stellar defense and a solidified O-line at that point, and still couldn't figure it out. You look at Matt Nagy here. I mean, he's got no O-line. It ranks in the bottom 4 of all the NFL. They are the least scoring team in all the NFL. It's I don't know. If you go by statistics, Trestman's the worst head coach, but Nagy's, I mean, he's fucking chopping at the bit right on his heels, isn't he?
Almost, Steven.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you, Mike. I just want to say one thing in Trestman's defense. Cutler is phenomenally talented, right? But you can't make a person care. He just didn't care about the game. He cared about getting his checks, but he's not one of those quarterbacks who just cared about winning and losing. And you can't teach that. The quarterback either has it or they don't. And Cutler didn't have it.
Okay.
Whoa. You're talking about a messiah here in Chicago here.
Hey, immensely talented. He's probably the most aloof quarterback I've ever seen play.
Well,
Because the guy spent half the time on the ground with the shitty O-line that he had half the time, and with 4 different offensive coordinators that he had. I mean, what do you expect the guy to do?
5. Who's counting though?
Exactly.
Offensive coordinators hurt the development of a quarterback, and on top of it, you can say at least Jay Cutler got the Chicago Bears to the NFC Championship game playing through an injury. The guy would depend too much on his arm to a certain degree. But look, he had a talented arm. He can make every throw in the league. You're exactly right. You would expect more, but at least, he's a little bit better looking at this point than Andy Dalton and Justin Fields.
I'd take him now, but because his talents.
I would dig up fucking Sid Luckman and throw him under center right now.
Anybody interested in my opinion?
Matt Nagy will get you killed if you put him behind center right now. Go ahead, Harry the Greek.
Mark Trestman. Not even close. I don't want to hear any kind of explanation here, guys. Mark Trestman, just for the mere fact that looked like a weirdo, is just good enough for me, guys. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that guy gave. You know what? If I seen a picture of him again, I'd have nightmares. Literally.
Didn't he look like the guy from Willy Wonka, the villain?
Oh, yeah, but what I'd like to
he looked like he had a bag of dead cats in his closet.
Yeah, no, for real, man.
And he looked like the guy that you see, like, in that van, trying to give out candy to kids on Halloween.
Yeah.
You guys, man.
Oh, my God.
He's creepy. He looked like he, taxidermied squirrels for fun.
Alan Bratcher. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go back to some of the comment. Alan Bratcher says, how you doing, Alan? Kick-ass show, Harry. Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Alan, for helping me out earlier today. Ben Cornett. My personal opinion, Justin Fields shouldn't start until Nagy is gone. Yep. I think this would harm Justin more than anything. I kind of agree with them. I really, really, truly do. I've actually said this before because I was an advocate for Justin Fields. And, when Peter and I were talking about when they drafted him, I don't think they should go ahead and start him. People were down on Andy Dalton. He's not as bad as what people think. At this point in time, Andy Dalton's a better quarterback. Okay. He doesn't have the most upside. Okay, Justin Fields is going to be the future, and he's going to be he's going to be their man as a quarterback. But right now, game's a little bit too fast for him. Ball's still getting slow out of his arm. Andy Dalton was playing a little bit better. Great comment, Ben. Vernon says, Mike Martz says, hold my beer. Absolutely correct. Facebook user, I'm sorry, guys. From what I understand, if you're going to come on and try to make a comment, when you go to watch the show, for some reason, StreamYard wants to see your name. You have to I'll read it to you. I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name. So I guess if you hit that and take care of something else, I think it'll let you do it. Anyone see Dr. Death at Miami? VA game, Virginia game yesterday. I pretty much choked up with disgust. No,
well, that's Tom Banner, by the way. That's Tom Banner.
Tom,
okay,
you're killing me, brother. Tom, why don't you call into the show? Frank just got my live alert now. Hey, who's this J. David Schuster guy? Pace must go. Yeah, I can understand it. Misador, how you doing, buddy? What's up, Harry? Misador's from Hobart, Indiana, one of the local Chicago guys out there. He's a South Sider, Mike. You do understand what that means, right? It's the only side.
He's from the region. He's from the region.
Yeah, but I understand, buddy. But he's a South Sider. At least he's a Sox fan, unlike you.
Nope. Never gonna happen.
Pace must go. How do you take an offensive line with a known bad back that high? You know what? That's a really good question. I'm going to ask someone that's really not from the Chicago area. Peter, how do they do that?
I mean, I don't understand why you don't. I don't understand why you don't draft the first offensive lineman in the first place. I don't understand why the Bengals don't draft Penei Sewell out of Oregon.
Yes.
Trying to help your rookie quarterback out. And look, Joe Burrow comes off an injury. If you want to build, you have to build with the line first, unless you got a line already established. So I really don't understand why they didn't draft an offensive lineman, but maybe this could be the reason why the Chicago Bears have never been able to develop a young quarterback, because they're not helping out their quarterback, and it starts up front with the offensive line.
Love the passion.
Thank you.
I absolutely love the passion. We're going to get to that in a minute, because everybody in Chicago is going to be like, who the hell is this guy? I got enough of that yesterday. Mike, did you watch the show yesterday? You should have seen all the nice comments about me. Who is this guy?
Who the hell is this guy?
So tell me, Adam, what do you think?
I really have no room to talk. I tell you right now, with the debacle that's
He's
going.
in New York.
Well, hold on.
Okay,
With the debacle that's going on right now in New York right now. I mean, their offensive line is garbage.
You've got Dave Gettleman, who's known to draft offensive linemen, and you've got Andrew Thomas, who's an absolute slug on that left side. I don't understand how Gettleman is known to draft offensive tackles and you miss so badly. And then you got this turnover machine in Daniel Jones, who can throw 2 touchdowns and throw 3 interceptions at the same time. It's just nerve-wracking. You're basically wasting Saquon Barkley on the New York Giants because your stupid general manager doesn't know how to draft an offensive lineman. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know who's worse, Ryan Pace or Dave Gettleman, because those guys right there, they need to go. I'm at a point right now where I'm just watching the Giants game. I don't know whether I should cry or just focus on my damn fantasy team.
Okay, so we're going to let one person decide this. Who's worse, Gettleman or Pace?
Don't bring that shit on me. Because you know what I'm going to say.
Oh, no, come on, buddy.
At least
so
Ryan
you're going to give
Pace
New
has
York
a
some
few
props?
hits. Ryan Pace does have a few hits. I mean, but the hits that he has, let's go back, okay? Let's go back, all right?
No. Who's worse? That's what we want to know. This is what all of Chicago and America wants to know. Who's worse?
Well, fuck, I'm taking Ryan Pace. This guy fucking blows.
Okay, you know what I say? Peter's going to love this. Make them walk the plank.
And there you go. Exactly right there.
Both of them.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Pace, because he passes up on a Deshaun Watson, of course, off the field issues, but an extremely talented quarterback.
Hey, man, a hand job's still a job.
Well, but one, but 2 over multiple. I mean, come on now. You got to be smarter than that.
Guy's 23. His libido's through the roof.
I mean, come on. You got a big time contract. You can't get somebody. You can't date. You can't get multiple girls.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, do better. But at the end of the day, if you draft a Watson, there's no need to draft a Justin Fields. And by the way, maybe you can build that offensive line. So to me, Ryan Pace with a monumental miss there with Deshaun Watson.
You aren't fucking joking, Peter. And the one thing is this too. The one thing that Ryan Pace always does too. If you guys go back and look at his drafts, all right, look at Adam Shaheen. Fucks that up. Exactly. Fucks up Adam Shaheen and goes out and gets Jimmy Graham. And fucks up Leonard Floyd, goes out and gets Robert Quinn.
Yep.
Fucks up with Mitchell Trubisky, grabs Mike Glennon and grabs fucking Andy Dalton, and then has to redraft. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? It seems like he's always trying to fix a mistake. And that's what it boils down to, is that Ryan Pace, no matter what he's doing, he's always trying to fix a mistake. And the only one that he's actually hit on The only one that he's actually hit on is Roquan Smith. And at that pick, that's a fucking no-brainer. I
Well,
mean,
you see, I don't agree with that because I'm going to tell you why, guys. I mean, David Montgomery, he's a premier running back.
Decent, yes. He's decent,
He's not
yes.
decent. No,
I like
he's a
David Montgomery.
I
I
understand
like David
that.
Montgomery too. Look at but with David Montgomery, you get Eddie Jackson.
Well, Eddie Jackson went to the Pro Bowl a couple of times. He's
Eddie
just
Jackson.
started. Oh, stop it! I know
Don't
how
even
you
get me
feel about
started
him.
on Eddie Jackson.
I know. Hey, as Adam says, I'm going to rev your ass up like a big block.
No, Mike, real quick.
Don't do it.
Explain
Don't do
to
it.
No, I'm not. Explain to Peter Blake what you saw on Sunday, and you told Harry and myself what Nick Chubb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tell Peter.
There was a legit point in that game on Sunday where Alec Ogletree full blown. I mean, I'm dying if I'm lying. Strike me dead now. Alec
Lord,
Ogletree
hold back the
saved Eddie Jackson's life. I mean, literally saved his life. And late in the third quarter, Nick Chubb took a handoff and broke it for about 25 yards. All right. And there's a part that there's a moment in time there where he breaks the first layer, he breaks the second layer, and Eddie Jackson is just standing there like this. All right. And Nick Chubb, his you saw it, I saw it from fucking 526 rows up. Okay. Nick Chubb's only forethought was, I'm not going left, I'm not going right, I'm going right through this poop dick. and Alec Ogletree literally dragged Nick Chubb down from the back of the waist and took him down. And Nick Chubb the entire time didn't even move his feet. He was prepared to be that Tom from Tom and Jerry on the staircase.
That's
where he's all bent up and like accordion styled up the stairs. That's what he was prepared to do. And Nick Chubb was more than willing to give it to him. I mean, it was insane. Alec Ogletree saved Eddie Jackson's life. He could not. He can't tackle. He can't tackle. Don't get me started on Eddie Jackson. He's overpaid pile of shit.
I'll tell you what Pace reminds me of. He reminds me of Mark Dominic. Mark Dominic used to do the same thing down here in Tampa. He would draft somebody, go out in the free agency, because the reason why you have the tool of free agency is if you mess up in the draft. But here's the thing. Don't mess up into the draft, and you don't have to overpay somebody that basically has one good year and is going to turn out to be a slug the next, namely a Deshaun Jackson for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was a slug. And, Jason Light went after him. But Mark Dominic would go after free agents, would go and draft guys. If you draft guys at first, you don't have to go out into free agency because it's always questionable. And again, it's a Band-Aid at that point.
Nailed it. I mean, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Misador says Nagy doesn't build a scheme around his talent. He is seriously trying to mash a square peg into a round hole. I gotta tell you, I kind of understand that. Misador says you had 149 days to build a scheme around Fields, and you throw out that dog.
Does this guy have ESPN or what? This guy's like all inside my brain.
Yep. Pig Dog Video 2001. This is cool. Harry, what do you think about NIU, Northern Illinois, -2 versus Eastern Michigan tomorrow? Think it's worth laying the points? No. And I'm going to tell you why. I didn't do too much college. I take very few college games that I do use. That I do play. And the ones that I do play are basically stemmed around from the SEC. I do watch a lot more SEC because I think it's just a little bit of a qualitier type of football. I'm nothing personal. I will start looking at some Ohio State tape, some Michigan tape, Illinois, believe it or not. Wisconsin, I've seen a couple of games already this year. Wasn't too impressed. But NIU, I have not looked at them. I will tell you this much. Eastern Michigan stinks. Okay. I just don't know how good NIU is this year. I'm going to be honest. So, I mean, I appreciate the question. I just can't give a concise answer. Andrew Tarbill says, welcome to 1252, Harry. Excellent show so far. Thank you, Andrew. Do sincerely appreciate it. From what I understand, Andrew, this gentleman right here would like to challenge you to a little bit of fantasy.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, there you go. I like that. I like that.
Andrew, honestly, if you look at his hat, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Hey
Ladies
guys, I'm
and
gonna step
gentlemen,
away
don't
for a couple
forget-
seconds. I'll be right back.
Oh,
All right,
okay. I'm
cool.
going to put you in the
Hey,
back room. Ladies and
Harry, I
gentlemen,
wanted to
don't
say
forget to
something.
share the show. Hit the like button. Share the show. Put it on your news feed. I'm telling you, you guys are going to have a good time with it. Now, it's the top of the hour. It's 10 o'clock. We are going to do something that I really love to do. We're done trashing on football teams. We're going to talk about all the football teams around the National Football League. I want to get into some of the games that I really like. I'm going to go around the horn. You guys are going to tell me who you guys like, and I'm going to tell you the games that I'm going to bet. Make your own decisions. But I promise you, we're going to have a good time this year. And you'll listen at the end of the show what my normal saying is. The first game is Washington is -2 at Atlanta. The total points are 48. Peter, I'm going to set this one off with you. You know the Atlanta Falcons better than anybody else. You're from the SEC. I'm sorry, SEC. You might as well be with Atlanta. Sorry. You're from the NFC South. Is Atlanta as bad as they look? Washington's only -2 on the road. Is this a trap game? Shouldn't this game be more? Who do you like and why?
Well, I tell you right now, it's tough to go against Atlanta at home, even though Matt Ryan is clearly on a decline. But that Washington football team's defense is absolutely horrendous. I don't know what happened from last year to this year. So,
Trap game, Peter? Is this a trap game like I'm seeing?
I think Washington can pull out the upset here. I do.
It's not an upset. Actually, they're favored, Peter, by 2 points.
Favored
And
by
that
2 points. Okay.
because this game, honestly, if this was last year, I think Washington would have been a 5-point favorite in this game, to be honest with you, on the road. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm kind of smelling like a trap game. Let's go back to week 1. Everybody remembers when I was talking about when Minnesota, I think it was week 1, when the Minnesota Vikings were playing Cincinnati.
Yep.
And the gambling gods, everybody thought they were giving them something special when Minnesota was only a 3-point favorite. Everybody remember that?
Yes.
And I'm sure everybody remembers Harry going, "Don't you bet that game.
I
This
didn't
is a
listen.
trap game. Stay
I didn't-
away from it."
Didn't listen, Harry, and I should have
Yep.
bet on Cincinnati that day. I didn't truly believe in Cincinnati. I like the Washington football team in this game, man. I do.
Do you?
I do. I think
Perfect.
their defense is going to get it together, and I think still Atlanta doesn't have a defense. You know, they really don't. They haven't really stopped anybody. On top of it, they have some injuries in that secondary. So I like the Washington football team on the road.
Perfect. Steven, who do you like?
I picked Washington football team, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons won this game.
Absolutely.
I have very little faith in Washington's defense right now. The same guys who were super boisterous and I want Tom last season haven't shown me anything so far this season. But they should win this game.
Adam.
Oh man, I can tell you right now, even though that Washington is favored by 2, their pass defense is very horrible. So this can be a Kyle Pitts game. This can be a Calvin Ridley game. Matt Ryan is going to be throwing downfield. I won't be surprised. It could be a trap game, like you said, Harry. So I can see Atlanta walking away with this one.
You know what? So you like the underdog.
Yes, sir.
Harry the Greek's not giving this game out. I do not like this game. You know why I don't like this game?
Trap.
Anybody smell that? Because when it smells like dog poo poo, it generally is. If it's too good to be true, you're absolutely correct. Here, hang on. Yep. No, I don't like this game. It's a trap game. Stay away from the game. If you pushed me into a corner, I would have to say to play Atlanta. Do not do it, though.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
And I think it also depends on guys from the fantasy perspective here, Adam. If Antonio Gibson plays in this game, he's questionable, but we've seen the kind of impact. 87-yard run last week, very talented runner. They have some weapons here. If Gibson doesn't play in this game, then I think you would have to tend to favor Atlanta there.
Okay, that's a pretty good job on that one. You know what? We'll be here all night long if we go through every single game like snails. Okay, but you know what? I like it. But I'm going to have to ask Fat Mike really quick. Mike, who do you like? Washington at Atlanta. Washington's -2 at Atlanta.
I like Washington in this game.
Perfect.
I really do. I like
-2.
that quarterback that they got out there. I like the quarterback they got. What's his name? Come on, help me out, guys.
The Heineken beer.
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke. Yes, and I really love Washington's running game, and I really like their defense. So I'm taking Washington in this game.
Well, like I said from before, if you hold a gun to my head, play Atlanta in this game. It's not a game that I'm picking out. If it's too good to be true, generally it is. Washington's only a 2-point favorite in this game. This should be 5 or 6. Something's wrong. It could be injuries. I'm not sure, and I didn't do the game yet. The next game is Tennessee at the Jets. Tennessee is a 6.5-point favorite at the New York Jets. Keep it 20 seconds or less.
How is it
Peter.
only 6.5 points?
No
is-
kidding.
I'll tell you why.
Peter, go for it.
This is going to be a complete blowout by Tennessee. The Jets are lifeless. They have a rookie quarterback. You really have not seen the best of the Titans, and I feel like Derrick Henry could rush for over 200 yards versus this lackluster Jets defense. So I'm going the over on this. I'm going to go with the Tennessee Titans big.
So you like Tennessee minus the 6.5. It sounds good. You think they're going to win big. Thank you, Peter. Mr. New York Giant fan himself.
This is going to be a very tough game for Tennessee. I can tell you right now. Without AJ Brown and Julio Jones, they're going to have to rely on Derrick Henry. So yeah, I definitely like Tennessee covering the 6 or take pretty much.
I'm sorry,
win by
they're
6.
laying the wood. You got it, guys. That's okay. Steven.
Tennessee Titans. They got
Perfect.
Derrick Henry.
I like a very, very small position in this game. Very small position. No Brown, no Julio Jones. They're going to be game time decisions. I'm not even sure they're even going to – I don't even know if they've been ruled out completely.
They have.
Okay. Derrick Henry is going to be relied on a lot. Go the other way. Take the Jets plus the 6.5 at home. It's too many points.
Ooh.
They're at home. And I honestly think that the Jets are going to play a little bit more revitalized type of football. It's a little bit easier concentrating on taking away one scheme. They are going to load the box up. They're not going to respect the passing game from Tennessee when they're losing both of their star wide receivers. And that defense for the Jets is finally going to get it rolling. Take the Jets plus the 6.5. It's a very, very small position. It's not one of my favorite games. Next game, Cleveland at Minnesota. Cleveland is a 2-point favorite at Minnesota. The total is 52. Peter, do you think Cleveland's going to win or lose?
I think Cleveland's going to win this game. It's going to be the student beats the teacher. I like Kevin Stefanski, of course, the former offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. So I like the Cleveland Browns here. I like their defense right now. It's not even their offense. It's not even Nick Chubb. It is that defense with Myles Garrett and Clowney on the outside. They are going to harass Kirk Cousins all day long. That offensive line is not that good. I like the Cleveland Browns.
Perfect. Adam.
I like the Cleveland Browns. I definitely see Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb actually doing very well in this game, and Odell Beckham Jr. getting some big catches.
And they're -2. Perfect. We're going to go to Mr. Steven Glasker. Go for it.
I like Browns too, and I like Odell playing the role of Jarvis Landry this week. So
I like Cleveland and the under in this game.
Yeah, because the total's 52, so you actually like the under in that game. And Harry the Greek has no play in this game. I'm not a believer in Cleveland. And
Waving my flag.
And
Oh my
and
God, who the hell cares?
Absolutely. Indian, you know what? We want to hear from the fans that are out there. Not the fans, from the people that are actually watching the shows and everything else. As we're going along, over or under, who do you like? Just go ahead and post a comment. We're going to read it live on the air. Indianapolis at Miami. Tough game. Miami's a 2.5-point favorite here, guys. Carson Wentz, we're not going to say it out loud because Fat Mike doesn't believe it. Carson Wentz, he sprained both ankles, Mike.
Fucking pussy.
Get out of bed. getting out of bed, no less. I mean, this guy right now, it's like Last Joe from the old Mike Tyson Punch-Out from the Nintendo days.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, Carson Wentz has been one of the biggest disappointments. Whatever quarterback you have starting there, the story is that Miami defense getting after them. If it's a rookie quarterback, you're in big trouble. On top of it, you have Jacoby Brissett, that extra motivation for him being a former Colt. He wants to prove himself. Miami, I like Miami there, and I like Miami by at least 10 to 15 points.
Perfect. You'd like Miami in a big upset, and they're home.
Wow.
So you are saying playing them on the money line. Andrew, go for it.
I like Miami in this game because I think this is going to be a revenge game for Jacoby Brissett.
Another upset. Loving it. Steven Glasker.
I got the Colts, man.
You got the Colts. Okay. I know where the smart money's going. Michael.
Is it safe to say that Tua is a bust at this point? Because that's the way that's the same exact way I feel right now.
You can only say he's a bust if you can pronounce his last name 3 times fast.
Whoa. And I
Okay,
can't do
good.
that.
Off with his head.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mike and Harry and everybody else on this panel. How were you not surprised by Tua when he was coming out? He had all these red flags from Alabama, hip problems, leg problems. He was also
He's a lefty.
He's a lefty, but he was successful at Alabama, but there were injury problems there. Yeah. And to me, that's the reason why I wouldn't have drafted him in the first place. You look back at it, you could have had Justin Herbert over a Tua now, and I think Miami's kind of kicking themselves. The whole rest of the NFL is kicking themselves besides the Chargers. So to me, Tua all along was going to be a bust with all those injury red flags.
Right. Peter is a great example that what he said is a great example that a lot of these GMs are not as smart as they think they are.
Yep.
No.
Name a quarterback that had injury issues in college, like Carson Wentz, that doesn't have injury issues now. And Tua, they had injury. They have a history they're bringing. How do you not know or see this? And the same thing is true when you and the same thing is true with these same GMs. They get these quarterbacks because they got all this flash in college, and they fail. Like Peter understands, they fail to give them decent offensive line help.
I'm going to tell you this much. Hold on. I'm going to tell you this much. I watched Miami, and people that know me know I watch a lot of game tape, not the regular TV tape, actual coaches tape. And I broke down about 2 games this year for the Miami Dolphins. One of them was in the preseason, and it was against the Chicago Bears. Let me tell you something. Tua was dead on. 1, 2, 3, bang. He looked very, very, very precise with his passes. He looked like the kid that the Miami Dolphins envisioned when they drafted him last year. The problem with it is, God bless him, man, he just cannot stay healthy. I still think he could be a really good quarterback in the National Football League, but I'm going to have to agree with Mike here. He's going to be a bust because of the injuries, but it's not fair to say he's a bust because of the injuries. This is the same thing that can happen to Justin Fields, Chicago fans. The exact same thing can happen to him. Yes, you should be concerned. That is why Justin Fields should not be playing right now, but I'm not going to get on my soapbox from there. We're going to go ahead and go back to the comments real quick. And someone by the name of Pip Dog Video 2001. What do you think? Oh, never mind. Sorry. Andrew Tarbill. Welcome to 1252, Harry. Excellent show so far. Thank you. Pip Dog. Thanks, Harry. What are your thoughts about the Steelers pulling an upset against Green Bay? We're going to get to that in just a little bit later part of the show. I promise you I am going to get to that. That is one of the games that I actually do like. Andrew says, we'd love to bring Adam to talk fantasy. He's a Giants fan, so he's miserable like the rest of us.
Mike, you got to like that comment, man.
And it's true, and you know what? For people that don't know, Adam's sidekick is Alex Datto. He's out of South Florida, extraordinary in fantasy. And there's people on my previous platform with Bucks Report that are extraordinary handicappers when it comes to fantasy football as well. Shout out to Andrew Faubert. Honestly, Jacob Charnow. I mean, those two that I'm mentioning, let me tell you something. I'd put my money on all 3 of these guys. Seriously, Andrew. I've seen your show. I've heard you're extraordinary with fantasy, but seriously, you got to get together with these guys because I'll tell you what, all you guys together, you guys would be dangerous, man. Yep. I'm telling you right now, I don't like putting people up. And if you're a gambler, you understand what I mean by that, because gamblers always say, I have no problem losing my own money, but I'm that confident with y'all's ability in fantasy. You guys know how to pick some fantasy. Really, hats off to you guys. We're going to go ahead and get to the next game. The Carolina Panthers are at Dallas. Here's a trick game for you. What if I told you that Dallas was only favored by 4.5 points? Think about that for a second, guys. Carolina's 3-0. They haven't done anything wrong. They haven't had a hiccup. Dallas is playing extraordinary offense. Their defense is getting, dare I say it, a smidge better. They're not much better than what they were. And I am going to start with Fat Mike. Who do you like and why?
This is a tough game, man. And if I'm telling you, if Christian McCaffrey was healthy, I'd be pounding Carolina all day. But since Christian McCaffrey is not healthy and is out this game, I am taking Dallas.
Perfect. Thank you, Steven.
Even though I'm in Dallas, I am going to take Carolina because I believe their defense is the truth. And I don't think Dallas has faced any real defensive problems, and they're going to this Sunday. And one quick aside, if I might, one of our female viewers, Miss Teresa, is out there watching and listening, and she says she's having trouble trying to put comments.
Tell her to go to the YouTube page.
What was that?
Tell her to go to the YouTube page.
Your YouTube page. Gotcha, brother. Thanks.
Yeah, if you're hard time making a comment, go to the YouTube page. Anybody that's out there. So who do you like, Steven?
I like Carolina. I think their defense finally shows Dallas something. I really do.
Okay, perfect. How about you, my my good friend from Nyorki Giants?
Oh man, this is gonna be this is a tough game, like Mike said. But
Sí, puto.
but I got to go with Dallas on this one. But don't sleep on Chuba Hubbard. That kid's gonna eat on Sunday. I can tell you, Chuba Hubbard. He's the backup for Christian McCaffrey. And
Hubbard.
Yeah, he's talented. So don't be surprised. He's gonna have a pretty decent game, I think.
Okay, and Peter.
I like Dallas in this game. Exactly. Going back to Fat Mike, if they had Christian McCaffrey, it may be a different story. But not only are you without Christian McCaffrey at the running back position, but also J.C. Horn at the corner. That's bad news for them with Dak Prescott and that explosive offense, and then getting Zeke running and that defense going. I like the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Hey, am I lone wolf in this? Am I lone wolf in it?
What's that?
Am I the lone wolf? Everybody picked Dallas but me.
No.
Oh!
No. Hey, hold up, brother. You still got the Greek to talk here. The elephant in the room is why are the Cowboys only a 4.5-point favorite? And Carolina doesn't have Christian McCaffrey. I want you guys to think about this. Put your thinking caps on, ladies and gentlemen. If Christian McCaffrey was playing, do you realize this line wouldn't be 4.5? This line would be 2.
Yes.
Just think about that. And the game's in Dallas. So essentially, if Christian McCaffrey was playing, this is the if I shoulda, coulda, woulda type of deal. If he was playing and the game was in Carolina, did you know Carolina would be favorite? Think about that for a second.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a trap game. The gods are trying to give you a very nice spread of only -4.5. Don't get fooled. Carolina's not a slouch team. Aaron Donald is not Aaron Donald.
Sam
Darnold is just a reinvigorated quarterback.
Yep.
He's becoming the quarterback that the New York Jets thought he was going to be, that he didn't turn out to be. And Dallas's defense is just a little better than what they were, and that was a dumpster fire last year. If you have to make a play in this game, I have to agree with Stephen Glasgow. You take Carolina. It's not a game I'm picking, but if you have to because you're sick, you take Carolina.
But here's the thing, Harry. To that point, I kind of feel like the Panthers could be a fraud. I mean, look who they play. They played the Jets the first week. That they're not good. You play the New Orleans Saints, who are up and down. You can't figure them out. And you play the friggin' Houston Texans. I think the Carolina Panthers are somewhat of a fraud, and we're going to all find out on Sunday how good or how bad, if you will, the Panthers really are.
Peter, I'm not going to try to rub salt, and nor am I trying to disagree with you. I kind of agree with you. But you know the old saying, you can only play who's on your schedule and who's in front of you. And I am going to direct these two comments to the two people sitting to my left. That's you, Peter, and you, Steven. I want you to tell me the last 5 games the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played last year. I'm sorry, the last 4 games when they started 7-5. Go ahead.
Well, they played the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
They played the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Twice.
Yep.
That's right. And the other team was the Carolina Panthers.
Detroit Lions, sir.
Detroit Lions.
Excuse me.
Beat the brakes off Detroit.
They did. Okay.
They beat the brakes off of every one of those teams, except for Minnesota, because they came in and tried to play a little running
The
defense.
Bears beat that ass.
I know. Hold on. What's this?
So technically, the Bears are Super Bowl champions. Yeah.
No, but anyway, what I was trying to say was, because you were making that comparison,
Right.
couldn't the same thing could have been said about Tampa then?
Sure.
They were frauds? No, bud. Look, I
but-
get it. You can only play who's in front of you. Now, have they played to the talent of teams that Dallas has? Dallas has already had to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, reigning Super Bowl champions. They've already had to play the Chargers. Who was the third game they played against?
Philadelphia.
Okay, those are all hard games.
Right.
Yes, Carolina's had a little bit of an easier road. But again, that brings me to the point of saying, why are they only getting 4.5 points? That's a problem.
Okay. I get it.
That's a problem.
I think Dallas could win this game handily, honestly. I do. I'm waiting for Sam Darnold to be Sam Darnold when he was with the Jets, and
You're not going to find that, Peter. No.
Maybe-
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's a reinvigorated Sam Darnold out there, man. I really do.
Yeah.
I think he's finally going to come into his own. And don't forget who the fuck was calling plays up there for Sam Darnold. All right, it was. I mean,
I don't know what
Come on,
happened to
guy.
Steven Glasker. I don't. Did someone
why'd
piss
I
him off?
Adam
I hope not.
Gase? I mean, come on, that guy. Oof.
All right,
Talk
guys,
about
we're
a
getting a little
who-did-it
bit
rough.
behind here. We're going to go to New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are favored by 8.5 points. And you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? This total score is only 41.5. Quickly, we're running behind. Mike, who do you like?
I like the Giants with the points.
You got it. Perfect. Adam.
I'm taking the Saints on this one. I'm a homer, but I think Alvin Kamara is going to eat without Blake Martinez on that defense. Yeah, they ain't shit.
Peter.
Yeah, I like the Saints at home finally with that crowd. Who knows how to figure this team out, but I like the Saints because I can't figure out the Giants either.
You know what? I've been on the Giants bandwagon for 3 straight weeks. I picked them to win the NFC least. That's right, with an L. Boy, was I wrong. God, was I wrong.
I told you.
They're
we got a
getting
sandwich
way
bet on
too
that.
many points, man. They're getting 8.5 points. I would make a small position with the Giants. I'm not giving that game out. However, I am giving out the over in this game. 41.5. Are you crazy?
No
Are you
way.
seriously?
It's got to be over.
Pound the over.
Yes.
And keep shove it in with both hands and both feet. Pound the over in this game. Absolutely love the 41.5. My very first pick I'm giving you guys. Pound the over 41.5.
It's must-see TV, Harry. I mean, you got Jameis Winston, who's a turnover machine to a certain degree, and you got his little brother from another mother, Daniel Jones, who's a turnover machine. So,
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Adam, I'm going to have to bring you in the back room for a minute because I got to have people see this pretty face drinking a nice cold beer. Of course, it's going to be from Chicago. Anybody want to take a guess who it is? Shut up, Mike. You're not allowed to say. Nope. Okay. Sorry, Adam. I'm going to bring you back. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray. How you doing, sir?
Oh, hey.
Hey, Ray.
There we go. Let me get that light out of the shot.
Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy.
Is that Peter Blake from the Sports Web?
It is.
Nasty.
What
I
happened to
see
the
the
beard,
boys hanging. Bro, you know, it's funny you should say that because I went to Carolina in July and, you know, I got on the airplane, didn't bring any shaving cream. I get to Carolina and I got razors. And I asked my father-in-law, I said, how do we shave? Because I said, you got some shaving cream? He says, no, I just use conditioner. And I'm like, what? I've been shaving with conditioner for a month. And finally today, I finally got some good shaving cream. So it is smooth and silky.
You
That
gotta grow the
sounds
beard
really
back
good.
out, dude. You're a
Oh my
sexy son of a
God!
bitch with
Who
that beard.
the hell cares?
Well,
That's
you know,
I
really
know,
good
but
one.
listen, Tampa Bay Ray, this guy can grow a good beard. He's a sexy son of a bitch with a beard. You got to bring that baby back.
Here, let me
Hey.
see him. Hey, baby.
don't get me wrong, my ass is still hairy as the day is long, but
Hey.
the face
Why
looks
does my
clean.
name have to be associated with your ass? Oh, God. Thanks, Peter. Ray, tell us a little bit about that beer you have. Which one is that? What kind?
That's a 22-ounce highlight I get from my bartender, my boy up here at the Studio Movie Grill.
Are we at the
And,
Studio Movie Grill right
we
here
are at
in
the
Seminole,
studio
Florida?
right here in Seminole. Beautiful
see,
night, walking Ruth. There's a
I
nice
want
breeze.
Chicago to be aware of one thing. When it's 30 below zero, get a good look at these faces because I'm going to be where Ray's at. You guys are going to be in the house around that dry heat. And we're going to be sipping on a really nice cold beer, giving all the live game action to you.
Yes.
I'll be hunting.
Ray, you know what we were talking about? The Giants are at the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans is an 8.5 point favorite here. Okay, bud?
Yes.
Who do you like in that game? Quickly.
I like the Giants to cover the spread.
Do you?
Yeah, I like Joe Judge to have that defense ready to do. I mean, the Saints have been like this so far, right? This year, they almost in that last game, you almost got to think sometime through the third quarter when Jameis was, throwing the ball up. But Carolina was just terrorizing him with that 9-2, 6-5-1 with the Snow, the defensive coordinator, and the things he's throwing at poor Jameis in that game. But you get to a game like this now with the Saints and who are they playing again?
The Giants.
The Giants don't have a whole lot, but one thing they will do is they'll put that solid pressure on. They won't have those rollout packages with 9 defensive backs on the defensive line trying to get in there. But I do like the fact that Joe Judge, for all the Giants' worries or woes, and they have a few of them, they definitely can play some defense. We just got to see if Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley can actually score some points.
Yep. What do you like in the game? Over or under? 41.5.
Oh, under.
You like under?
If it's going to be a defensive struggle, Giants aren't going to score, and the Giants are going to have to play defense to stop those Saints. I'm thinking maybe it's a 27-14 game. That would be 41.
Oh, my God. It's dead on almost. Oh, my God. I'm giving out the pick. I love the over. It's one of my favorite games of the week. We're going to go to the next game. Kansas City Chiefs at Philadelphia. By the way, I picked Kansas City to lose the game. Forget about I told them everybody not only to take the points, but play the Chargers on the money line last week. Kansas City's at Philadelphia. Kansas City's only a 7-point favorite, and the total is 54 points. Ray, we're going to start with you. Who do you like and why? You like Kansas City laying the 7 or Philly getting the 7?
No, I like Kansas City laying the 7. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, they've had a couple of bright spots this season, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to play a little more inspired. They're probably going to get their running game going a little more, take a little pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. But I don't know. I guess I got to go over in the game, and I definitely take the Chiefs with the points.
Sounds good, Mike.
I like the Chiefs. The Chiefs in this game, it's a no-brainer. After that big time loss last week to a divisional opponent in the Chargers, I'm taking the Chiefs.
Adam?
I definitely like the Chiefs on this one, and this is where you see Tyreek Hill go off. And if he doesn't, I'm trading his ass.
Understandable. Mr. Peter Blake.
I like the Chiefs in this game. Defense has not been very good. To me, it's a must-win game, guys. You look at this division overall, you have the Raiders playing on Monday night. They're undefeated. The Chargers already defeated them. Chiefs have to win this game. Andy Reid is going back to his old stomping grounds, and they're consequently going to stomp the Eagles. I like the Chiefs in this game.
And Pete, you don't even mention the fact that even with the Broncos in that division looking so strong, that as much as we're looking at the NFC West with the Niners and the Cardinals and the things, the Seahawks stuff they're doing out there, this AFC East division all of a sudden is possibly putting themselves in line to be the second. They're like the West B. There's West A and West B. These may be your two toughest divisions in football on the AFC and NFC side. They just happen to both reside in the West.
And it comes down to quarterback play for the AFC West. You have Justin Herbert, Derek Carr playing out of his mind. Of course, Patrick Mahomes and Teddy Bridgewater. Talk about invigorated quarterback. That's a quarterback right now that's really feeling it. And consequently, the Denver Broncos are coaching him up to his strengths, and that's why he's thriving with the Broncos.
That's a really good opinion. I personally have zero play in this game. I don't know what to make heads or tail on Kansas City, but I can tell you this much. They've completely revamped that offensive line, which really wasn't that bad last year, except getting injured and getting their ass handed them from the GOAT to the Billy Goat. But, I mean, that's for another story. But honestly, Kansas City, I think they may struggle a little bit in this game, even being 7-point favorites. I'm going to probably try to make people sway away from this game. Next game is going to be Houston at Buffalo. Gentlemen. Okay. Buffalo's a 17-point favorite. I really want people to think about this. Do you think Buffalo wins by more than 17? Yes or no, Peter?
Yes, they're going to win this game. It's going to be a blowout. Lovie Smith is the defensive coordinator. Look, they have some talent, but offensively, you have Davis Mills. I mean, he may be Miles Davis at the end of this game. I like the blowout by the Buffalo Bills. I like the Bills big.
Adam.
I definitely love the Bills, and for those of you that needed a running back in the waiver wire for somebody like Zach Moss, this is the game that he definitely goes off.
I got him.
Perfect. Mike.
I'm taking the Houston Texans with the points. That's a lot of points, guys. Holy shit, 17.5?
Perfect.
That's a lot of points. I'm taking Houston.
Ray.
Who were the two teams again? I'm setting you up for something.
It's okay. Houston at Buffalo, and Buffalo 17-point favorites.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and quote my boy Deion Sanders. I'm just going to have to say, ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care about that game. Ain't nobody care about
Oh my
Texas.
God, who the hell cares?
But yeah, I think Mike says take the 17. I mean, that's just in this league. You'll see a team go into a mercy mode before they really rock up them. And Texans have done a couple of things this year. They've shown up a little bit, just a little bit to kind of let the world know that they still play football. They're not the Harlem Globetrotters of the National Football League, but of course without the winning part. But yeah, I would definitely play the points because I definitely don't see a 17-point spread.
Yep. Harry the Greek has Houston at Buffalo. Buffalo's minus 17. I said Buffalo was going to regress a little bit this year. They've really started to bounce back. The defense is getting a little bit better. Josh Allen is playing incredible football, especially in that last game. Running game starting to come to life. Stephon Diggs, still not 100. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. His route running is getting a little bit lazy, in my opinion, after watching game tape. On the other side, Davis Mills, he was my sleeper quarterback coming out of college. That's the quarterback that I really wanted to see the Chicago Bears get. Let's go ahead and throw that out there. I think he's got a ton of upside. I think they could have got him pretty cheap in the second round personally. Lovie Smith is doing a good job with a very, very underrated defense. They are going after the ball. They're playing inspired football. With that being said, very small position. If you have to bet the game, you take Houston plus the points. I have to agree with Mike on this one. Next game is going to be Arizona at the Los Angeles Rams. And the Rams are 4.5-point favorites. Gentlemen, what have the Cardinals done wrong? Peter, let's go to you first. How come they're 4.5-point underdogs? That means, hold on. If the game was in Arizona, the Rams would only be a 1-point favorite, Pete.
It'd be a pick 'em, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think there's still doubt about Kyler Murray, and there's big-time doubt about that secondary. And you look at Matt Stafford right now, the way he's playing, 5 touchdowns, throwing the ball all over the place. In fact, he's got more than 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns coming into the Bucs game. He threw 4 last week with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Deshaun Jackson. Who's going to stop them? Arizona, to me, defensively, very questionable. I like the LA Rams in this game.
Sounds good. Adam.
I definitely love the LA Rams in this one. I think they're going Kyler Murray is going against a different defense that's good on the passing coverage. And they really don't have that good of a running game. I mean, they utilize James Conner a lot and they utilize Chase Edmonds, but more in the passing game. But I like LA in this one.
Mr. Mikey.
I like Arizona in this game. I really do. And this is my ballsy bet of the week. I'm going to play some money on Arizona on the money line in this game. Outside of Aaron Donald, the Rams don't have a pass rusher, and outside of Jalen Ramsey, they're okay at cornerback. And I picture this week Christian Kirk having a monster week against this secondary of the Los Angeles Rams. I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals on the money line because the Arizona Cardinals is a team that has a solid front four, and they're going to be the first team that puts pressure on Matt Stafford this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and then same thing. If they had a bell cow running back, a good solid running game, their defensive line is going to put that pressure on Stafford that the Buccaneers defensive line failed to do last week. But truth of the matter is, as each game goes by, Stafford and McVay are going to, two will become one, right? And they're going to morph into like this little giddy guy that runs up and down the field with like the guy with the broom from the Apollo, just sweeping everybody off the field. What is it? But anyway, the truth of the matter is, I like the defense that Arizona's going to put out there. They're definitely going to give those Rams some trouble. But and I love Kyler. I love Kyler's strong arm, and he does make those big passes. But without that strong running game, if they had a good, like I said, a bell cow running back that could go in there and give them a good. Oh, sorry. Here you go. Then I would like them.
Okay. You know what my opinion is? Stay away from this game. I don't know which way to go with it. I mean, I have no opinion. Even the over-under is too high for me to even bet. I mean, it's 54.5. So are they going to play defense? According to Vegas, they're not playing any defense. So just throw that out the window.
Good girl.
I recommend to stay away from this game. Next game is Seattle at San Francisco. Another tough game. Seattle's on the road at Frisco. Frisco's -3. Lost
really
the heartbreaker to the Green Bay Packers.
She just wants to play all the
And
time.
the total's 52.
Y'all going to see a movie, or did you go see a movie?
Ray,
Which
we're
one?
going to go to you first, buddy.
Oh, nice.
Ray's
I'm
going to
sorry,
see
I
a
was-
movie.
That's okay.
I'm getting some information on a movie that we're going to see over here, so I'll join you on the side. Well, no, just kidding. We'll put the dog in there and have a good time. But I'm sorry, Harry.
Seattle's at Frisco. Frisco's -3. Who do you like, brother?
I'm going to have to tell you, this is why the NFC West is the toughest division, because any one of these teams can win on any given week. I like Garoppolo. I like that the 49ers are staying healthy. The Seahawks, Steve Carroll Steve Carroll's going to try to put something together, and but I definitely like the 49ers in this game. Just they look like they're solid. Garoppolo looks like he's on a mission, and I think that they're actually going to be the favorite for the division. I don't like the Rams winning the division. I like the 49ers winning that division.
Wow, you keep saying that, too. That's going to be tough. That's going to come down as a nail-biter to you and me. Fat Mike, what do you like?
I'm going to take Seattle in this game. Seattle definitely needs to win a game under Pete Carroll this season sometime soon. Russell Wilson has to start cooking. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, they all got to click, and I think this is the week they do it. Seattle always plays San Francisco good. I'm taking Seattle in this game.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring someone else back in here. We're going to go to Mr. Steven Glasker. I know he
Hey.
wasn't listening. Seattle at San Francisco. San Francisco's -3 at home. Who do you like?
I like 49ers.
Perfect. I
My
love
man.
that. Thank you so much.
My man,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What up?
Ray?
How you doing? What's up, Ray?
Steven Glasker. I'm good, brother.
We got the connection going. Adam Padermo, talk to me. Who do you like?
I got Seattle on this one, Harry, because I can't see Seattle after coming back from two tough losses. I see Chris Carson having a good game, DK Metcalf getting involved, and Tyler Lockett is healthy after that hip injury. Hopefully he gets some catches in this game.
My brother.
Yeah, I mean, I like Seattle in this game. It's a must-win game, like Fat Mike said. Also, you have Russell Wilson. How can that defense match up? And then on top of it, TikTok, Jimmy Garoppolo, is he going to be your starting quarterback here pretty soon? I feel like that time is kind of waning down here for Trey Lance to be the eventual starter, because Garoppolo is what he is. He's a middle-of-the-range quarterback. He's not taking the 49ers anywhere. I like the Seattle Seahawks in this game.
And I pose this question: if the 49ers do get all over the field on Russell Wilson and just break everything down, the Seahawks have a great receiving core. They got a pretty good team. You got pretty good hogs up there in the front offensive line. But man, if the 49ers defense, again, healthier than they were last year, almost as healthy as you'd say when they were in the Super Bowl just a couple of years back, if they have Russell Wilson running for his life out there trying to figure out his ass from a hole in the ground, it's just, I wonder how many more weeks after that will we start to go back to that narrative that Russell Wilson had before coming into the season, where he was wanting to get more weapons. He didn't have enough to work with, and he started to get whatever. You're making $40+ million. You're the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. There's, the cupboard's thin. You're not going to always have the money to have the Pro Bowl or the All-Star offensive line or guard or tackle you need. So, that narrative, if the Seahawks lose, they'd be 1-3. That narrative may not be far behind.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody what I think about this game. I watched this game twice, watched the coach's tape on it. I absolutely love the 49ers. And let me tell you why. They are extremely pissed off to lose that game to Green Bay the way they did. That defense is coming back healthy. What a game that was. Never, ever, ever should have lost that game. I'm not going to get into the particulars. It's way too much. But trust me on this game. -3 is not enough. This game's going to go to 4 and sometimes even 5. Hurry up and get on this play, because this line's going to increase. Believe me when I tell you. The total's 52 points. I kind of like the under, but that's not the play I'm giving you. Bet the 49ers. It's one of my top picks for the week. It's -3. We're going to get to the next game. My top pick of the week. Baltimore at Denver. Ladies and gentlemen, you ready? Denver's favored by 1.5. The total's 46 points. Peter, we ain't got a whole bunch of times because the last two games are the really premier games I want to talk about. I want to know who you like and why.
Baltimore. Baltimore's got to win. Big-time injuries to the Broncos front seven there. That's a recipe for disaster. Lamar Jackson big in this game. I like the Ravens.
Perfect.
No Quentin Nelson.
Yep.
This is going to be a tough game, but I'm definitely going Baltimore. I think Marquise Brown is definitely going to bounce back from dropping those passes in Detroit. So definitely like Baltimore in this one.
Perfect. Steven.
I like the Broncos.
Okay.
just do it. I like
Any
their defense.
particular reason?
I like their defense. I like the way Teddy Bridgewater's playing. I think they play better team ball than the Ravens. The Ravens is basically the Lamar show. And if Lamar doesn't have a good game, they're not going to win. So,
I kind of agree with you on that one. I like your opinion, but I don't know yet. Ray.
Oh, I was watching a soccer game. I'm going to tell you that Broncos defense, they've only given up 26 points the first 3 games of this season. Vic Fangio has that team playing defensive football. Teddy Bridgewater is not making any mistakes. I'm not saying he's the guy he was in Minnesota before the horrendous knee injury, but even going back to Louisville, he can throw a beautiful ball. They got a great defense. The Colts will not have Quentin Nelson. Is Carson Wentz even playing in this game?
Well, you're talking about the wrong team. It's Baltimore
Baltimore.
Ravens, not the Baltimore
It's-
Colts.
Yeah, Baltimore. You still like that?
Let me finish this beer and I'll get back with you.
Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Peter, give him the boo.
Okay, so it's the Ravens against the Broncos, but for the same reason, it's the fact that this Broncos team's only given up 26 points this entire team to season to be 3-0. Of course, Lamar Jackson is the wild card, and they did get moving, and he looked a lot better in the last. He looked like the kind of quarterback that's gonna get that contract. You know, pick number 32 overall. The Ravens get a steal. The poor guy, a guy of his nature wins the MVP and takes his team where he did in only his second season, would have already had that second contract already worked out. I truly believe even the Ravens aren't exactly sure what they have or what they want to do. I'm not saying they don't want to sign this kid, but they haven't thrown the house at him yet. And plus, he's handling his own contract negotiations. He's a wild card. Could do it. I would play it close. But what's the spread? I'm sorry here. The spread was the Broncos by 3.5?
No, Broncos are winning. They're favored by 1.5 at home.
I'm going to have to take the Broncos to cover spread or the Broncos to win.
Broncos are going to win. That's what you think. That's really good. Fat Mike.
I like the Broncos in this game for 2 reasons. Their defensive front 7 is really quick, and if they can play a hell of a spy on a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. So I really like that especially. And number 2 is the Broncos actually have a little bit of a running game. And if you control time of possession, you can win a football game. I'm taking the Broncos in this game.
Really good pick.
I wish you had told the Bucks that last week, Mike, before they went in and played the Rams. Oh, sorry.
It's my second favorite game of the week. Are you kidding me? Seriously. If you think that the 49ers were upset the way they lost that game, can you imagine how jacked up the Baltimore Ravens are for just winning that game with a 66-yard field goal at the hapless Lions? Let me tell you a little something. That's the reason why the Denver Broncos are favorite in this game, because nobody believes that Baltimore is the real deal. I don't even believe they're the real deal, but they're the real deal in this game. This is a lopsided line. Baltimore on the money line. Take it to the bank. Second favorite pick of the week. That's what the Greek is giving you. And the White Sox.
Cha-ching.
One more time.
Cha-ching.
That's right. Take it to the bank. Just keep it going. All righty.
Did you guys talk about the? Did you guys already talk about the Dallas and Carolina game?
Yeah.
Yes, we
'Cause-
did.
What's your pick, Ray? What's your pick?
I want to know if you guys can. And I know you got another game there, Mr. Harry the Greek, but I want to know. We see what that Snow, the defensive coordinator there under Matt Rule in Carolina. We see him. He's doing a 5-1-5. He's doing a 6-4-1. He's doing all these defensive fronts where he's putting a lot of his linebackers and his defensive secondary on the line and then peeling off. Right, peeling off. You never know who's going to rush, but they peel off. And I got to thinking. Forget about the fact that the Dallas Cowboys gave the Buccaneers all they could handle in week 1 with that quick passing game, the hip swivel that Dak likes to throw, that hip swivel and getting that ball out. But the Dallas Cowboys in that offensive line, they do have a running game. And if it's not Zeke, it's Pollard. And the fact of the matter is, I think this game is when we realize that even with the smoke and mirrors that the Carolina Panthers are able to put up there, and they've been playing solid, the way to beat that is a solid downhill running game. And then you give Sam Darnold just enough to get off a little. I think Sam Darnold goes 15 for 20 for 210 yards and a touchdown. but the running game is what gets the Carolina Panthers victory over the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but they're still hurting a little bit with the running game. That's a really, really good point. But I will tell you this much. I will tell you this much. You mentioned Dallas in the Tampa game. I
meant Dallas, but yeah.
Back on Buck Report, when you and I were talking about it on my show, I had touted that the Buccaneers were going to absolutely smash the Dallas Cowboys. That line started out at 5, went to 5.5, 6, 6.5, and I told everybody it would go up to 9, and it did. It did go to 9. Tampa turned over the ball 4 times in that game. They would have beat the brakes off the Dallas Cowboys. That's the reason why they didn't cover. But I'm not making an excuse. It's still an L. It's still a loss. And Ray, what do I always say in gambling? I'd rather what?
Win big and lose small.
Kind of close. I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. Any day of the week. Let's go out to the comments really quick before we go ahead and get to the final last couple games. Teresa Baxter. Hi, Teresa. Hey, Harry, congratulations on the new show. Thank you so much. Teresa says she likes Denver. Okay, that's pretty cool. Teresa's pretty damn smart. Teresa, I appreciate you coming in. I see you went into YouTube and seeing it. Teresa Baxter says, wasn't Lamar Jackson listed as day-to-day, or did I get that wrong? Adam, you're the fantasy guy.
Yeah. He came back to practice. He's going to be good to go for Sunday. So,
but why, Adam? What was it again? How did he injure his hip? Doing a cartwheel into the end zone.
Yeah, that shit. I mean, that honestly was
a Jameis Winston move. That was a Jameis Winston move, right? We expect Jameis to miss a game.
Would you rather see that, or would you rather see Tyreek Hill doing a backflip against Tampa?
Oh, okay.
Stop. Here you go. Here. Let me be Jabaldeen. Here you go. Everybody, the Tampa fans, you're going to run up the deuces right up into his face. You know what? If anybody can appreciate it, it was epic. I absolutely loved it. Now, I want to go ahead and answer Pig Dog's question from earlier. Thanks, Harry. What are your thoughts about the Steelers pulling off an upset against Green Bay? Any chance? I'm going to let Ray Kennedy go ahead and talk about it. First off, Green Bay is a 7-point favorite. The total's 46. Ray, who do you like and why? Quick.
Green Bay is back on, and they will use their running game. And then Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers shows that even though he's got a some man bun thing going, and he got married, and he's going through his midlife crisis or whatever. He is the last Highlander. But Matt LaFleur, this Packers team, they've surprised me. They've got depth. I still don't think they have enough depth to completely lock down the NFC North. That's why I like Chicago. If they can get their act together, and who doesn't feel bad for the Lions last week? I mean, the Lions, trying to get Patrick that win. I know you don't, but come on, a 65-yard and a
oh my God, who the hell cares?
Screw you, Peter.
Steven, who do you like it?
And in that Carolina,
Pittsburgh at Green Bay. Green Bay 7-point favorite.
Even though my favorite meme of Aaron Rodgers is with the man bun is that Aaron Rodgers looks like Nicolas Cage playing Aaron Rodgers in a movie about Tom Brady. I love that meme. It's hilarious. I got Green Bay, man. I have zero.
Come here, let's have some space.
Green Bay -7.
Zero faith in the Steelers.
Mike, I know how much you love the Packers.
I hate this game. I really do. I hate this game. This game sucks. I'm not a fan of this game. I could totally see Pittsburgh bouncing back and covering the spread.
It's nice out here, isn't it?
I could totally see Pittsburgh covering the spread in this game, but I think the ultimate outlier, and I could see the Steelers winning this game. It's a no play for me. I'm out on this one. I don't want to.
With an 83-year-old quarterback and Ben Roethlisberger.
And Big Ben's always good for at least 2 games with 500 yards a game. I'm staying away from it.
As long as he's got his medical alert.
He's got his AARP card ready to rock and roll.
Help, I've fallen, and Mike Tomlin can't help me get up.
Says the fucking guy with a 44-year-old quarterback on his roster.
Okay, let's circle it right back in, guys.
Needs a walker with tennis balls and a rascal just to fucking hit the ball.
Seriously, Ray, did you have to tune him up like a big block here?
I didn't talk about Roethlisberger's balls. That's you
revved him up like a 454, man. Come on,
big block.
Mike, what you're missing. What you're missing is that Ben plays like Tom Brady's age.
No, Ben plays like he's fucking 400 years old and 400 pounds, but that's besides the point. He's still good for a 450-yard game every once in a while. This could be the game because Green Bay Packers defense blows.
Adam, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Mike on this one. You know, Big Ben surprises you in some days, and this could be the game that definitely he'll go downfield. Deontay Johnson is coming back. Juju is questionable, but Najee Harris is definitely gonna eat up some yardage. So I mean, I can see Pittsburgh probably taking this.
Perfect. Peter, you've been really quiet there. I almost thought that you were a meme.
Pittsburgh is not doing anything in this game. Big Ben is washed up. He is done. And the bigger problem is the offensive line. We were told in the offseason how they were going to be committed to this running game. But the problem is you don't have the horses to do it. That offensive line is banged up. I like Green Bay, and I like Green Bay big in this game.
Preach, brother. Preach, brother
Okay.
Pete.
I think I got to everybody. I say stay away from this game. This game can go either way. And I agree with a couple of people here. Green Bay
Preach,
is
Harry.
-7.
Preach.
I think this game can go either way. I still think Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to look in the camera really closely. You ready? You suck. I can't stand you. Okay. I hope the maggots crawl in your. Never mind. I'm only kidding. I'm not really that bad. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry.
rough.
I'm just. It's just kind of
crawl in
this.
your ass.
Aaron knows what I mean.
It's from the inside out.
It's a love-hate type of deal here. It's
Sounds
you
like
know,
a
You love
hate.
to hate him. Yeah.
I mean, does anybody remember the commercial? Okay, where you have the old Saturday Night Live skit, and they have Peyton Manning out there, and they have the big ladle of au jus sauce, and they're going to baptize them to become a Chicago Bears super fan. And
Yeah.
he puts his
Yes.
head down,
Yes.
and he's got his mustache on, and he goes, "Packers suck."
Yes.
Okay, come on, you're supposed to be that way. So it's very therapeutic. So on a count of three. So
You
on a count
notice-
of three. On a count of
Somebody
three, we all
won the
say it
game.
together.
You
1, 2,
notice they
3.
had to really. Oh, go ahead.
Packers suck.
I'm not gonna do it.
Packers suck.
There you go. See
They
my
had
Tampa
to
friends
really
down
use-
here?
they
No,
had
I'm
to
only
use-
kidding you. Tampa should. I'm sorry. The Green Bay Packers should be able to cover this game, but I wouldn't doubt Pittsburgh actually coming back. I mean, it's a definite no play for me because of the uncertainty of what's going on. I respect money too much. I am not a believer in what Green Bay did last week. I think it was more of a mental breakdown for what happened from San Francisco. I think they got complacent. I think Aaron Rodgers got very lucky. I honestly believe that Green Bay has a lot of holes on their defense, and this team's in trouble for two reasons. Defensively, number one, and the other problem is his name is Aaron Rodgers. I think he's caused a big division within that locker room. He's divided that locker room with all the antics that he did in the preseason, and he has
Harry.
definitely divided the fan base out there.
Harry, I agree with you. I agree with you from the standpoint of that game last week. What I saw from those Packers is they still have the ability to stick their foot on someone's neck. I mean, they still enjoy doing it. Devontae and LaFleur is going to let them do it, and Lombardi or whoever's calling you. But I also agree with you there that even though it's funny because even while they were doing it, the rest of the team was coming to the hey, we're doing this, we are back. They weren't really back, but they were playing like they were back. They were playing like almost like the team you didn't see them in the NFC Championship game last year, but the team that got there. But even then. And even in the post-game conference, Aaron still got this this glaze over him, the cousin who sits in back at the party with a gravity bong and doesn't talk to anybody. So, I mean, yeah, but I mean, still,
Like
That's
Matthew
my favorite
McConaughey. He's like Matthew McConaughey at this point. He's like, all right.
Yes.
I mean, that's how I feel right now. And that's what Rodgers is looking at this season. He doesn't give a crap about the Packers, although
Right.
I think he wants to win. But I also think he wants out of there more than anything else. And it's showing on the field. The Packers have absolutely regressed, but the Steelers are god-awful. They really are. I think the Packers win this
yeah,
game.
they're on their way down. They haven't planned for the future at all. They don't have a backup plan, and maybe Brendan Roethlisberger should have been out of there a year or two ago. Bless his heart, whatever. But,
State of
Any
Dan,
coach that can go 500 with Mason Rudolph and the other ass hat that they had
That's
out
true.
there. All right, I'm not betting against.
Well, that's
No,
He would
I
win
agree.
competitive
No,
games.
and that's why I said it's a no play for me. I don't know which Green Bay team's going to be coming. I'm not a big believer. You give me
Fucking
another week.
Myles
like
Garrett
you've seen-
smashed in Mason Rudolph's frontal lobe last year with a helmet, and they still have finished above 500.
it's true. I mean,
Like a whack-a-mole, bro.
Tell us how you
Yeah.
really
Sounds like a
feel there,
whack-a-mole.
bud.
that might
Mason
definitely-
Rudolph needs a fucking drool cup and a hockey helmet to fucking survive now.
I mean, it is the greatness of Mike Tomlin: consistency. But I feel like this is too big of a mess for him to clean up. Again, that offensive line was not addressed in the offseason. Everybody talked
Right.
about it. They talked
Losing
about
Villanueva was a big fucking loss for that Pittsburgh O-line.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to get to the next
And
game.
Pouncey 2 years ago, they lost that
Yeah,
Pouncey on the
Pouncey
center,
too,
and now
yeah.
he was
There's
the
3
quarterback of
more
that line.
games, guys. And
Okay.
I'm sure you're going to want to cover
We got
this.
time. Who cares? We got time.
Raiders at the Chargers.
Oh,
I fucking
Okay.
hate this game.
Hold on.
I hate
Yeah,
The
this game so
Chargers
much.
are at home. You ready? They're a 3-point favorite. Let me finish. The total's 51.5. Let's analyze something. The Chargers beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They're only a 3-point favorite at home. That means if they were at the Raiders would be either a point favorite or that game would be a pick 'em. Real quickly, Ray, who do you like there? And
well, I'll tell you
why?
what. So the Chargers now play this week in the Hollywood Park $5 billion stadium. Just like, and we talked about this after the game last week. That game for those Rams when the Bucks go in there last Sunday, that was the most important game. Well, at least they played since they're in a new stadium, but for football back in LA. Because not only did the Rams have to worry about trying to win and stay relevant in the NFC, but they had to worry and win to stay relevant with their own, the team they share that stadium with being those Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers now go back in there a week later after the Rams, walked around, lifted their leg and pissed on everything in the building to claim their own. And now the fountain around. Now the Chargers are going to go in there. But man, I'll tell you what, that Raiders team, they are doing some things. It's not the defensive tackles they drafted. It's not the, Derek Carr. We know he's a gamer, but he's starting to step up, stay in the pocket, and really go and make his reads to 2 and 3 and 4, and he's making plays. I like the Raiders in this game.
Perfect. Thank you. Steven.
I agree with Ray. I think
That was
I
easy.
actually think I picked the Chargers, but the Raiders have been playing really good ball, and they have been playing good teams. I would not be surprised if the Raiders won this deal.
Okay. Adam.
Oh man, I can tell you real quick. This is probably going to be a pretty high-scoring game as Vegas sees it, but I like the Chargers in this one, and I want to thank the football gods for giving us Justin Herbert. As Fat Mike can agree with me, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I think they're going to get the job done in this one. They're going to put the brakes on the Raiders.
Peter.
Yeah, I don't believe in this Raider defense. On top of it, they're playing a lot of overtime games. I get it. Derek Carr is playing out of his mind, but the key injury to look at is Josh Jacobs. Is he going to play in this game? I kind of feel like the Dallas-Carolina game. If Carolina had Christian McCaffrey, I would have second thoughts. The same here. That's why I'm taking Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Oh.
I would go to Fat Mike, but I think he had to do what, Peter? Okay, good. I kind of like this
Was
game,
that you,
guys.
Harry?
I need you
No,
to
no,
next
no.
game.
Actually, I kind of like this game. The Chargers are at home. They-
Harry, you look down and look like Harry. You look down and look like you were kind of getting one out there, and then Pete hit that sound effect.
Hey, I gotta go back there. Anyway, the Raiders are at the Chargers. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite at home. I absolutely love the way the Chargers played. By the way, yours truly did pick them on the money line, didn't even take the points against the Kansas City Chiefs on that game. Look, I agree with Peter. Raiders defense, I'm not a believer with it. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is what the hell is his name? Jesus.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh
Thank you,
Jacobs,
Josh
yeah.
Jacobs. I'm not sure if he's feeling better, if he's going to be playing or not. I haven't done this game from a preliminary standpoint. A very small position. I will give you this game as one of my picks as well. But go ahead and play the Chargers, and I really, really do kind of like it. Small position though. That is a pick I'm actually going to give. Now,
Thanks, Bill.
all right, Tampa fans that are sitting up here.
Here we go.
Tom Brady and the boys are heading up to New England.
Oh, are they?
I am going to go and give my due diligence and go right to the New York fan. And I would like you to tell me who you like and why.
Oh man, this is going to be a tough one, but
And that's
I mean,
enough. He's a New York
No,
fan.
no,
Like,
hold
he
on,
understands
hold on. I got Tampa on this one, but I why are they not running the football, man? And I hope Ronald Jones gets traded, honestly, to a very productive team. But I got Tampa on this one, definitely.
Okay, Tampa, you like the -7. You think they're going to beat the brakes off of New England, correct?
Yep.
Stephen Glasker.
Okay, I need a minute because I am a huge Brady and Bucks fan. I think that Brady and the Bucks going to beat the brakes off of Belichick. For those of you who haven't seen or heard of any of the snippets from the Seth Wickersham new book, Belichick is a dick, big time. He cost that team at least one other Super Bowl they could have won.
Well, you do know we have one of them in
What
Chicago,
other
too. His
Super
name
Bowl
is Nick
could they
Foles,
have
but go
won,
ahead.
Lisa?
He cost them at least one other Super Bowl they could have won. And Brady wants to get some revenge. He's going home to put foots in Belichick.
Pause button. Pause button.
Uh-oh.
What other Super Bowl could he have won besides the 3 that he lost? The New York Giants won, lucky catch. New York Giants won again. Its defense was unbelievable, and then Philadelphia Eagles beat them on a trick play. So which Super Bowl could they have won?
I think he's
That is a
talking
great
about-
question, Pat Mike. It was the Eagles Super Bowl because you may not know this, but their number one corner, who had played 90-something% of the snaps all season, was standing on the sidelines for the whole game. And you know why?
Yes.
Because he's an asshole. That's why. Because
Because Belichick's an asshole. Because the corner got in an argument with the DC. The DC went and cried like a little bitch to Belichick, and Belichick set Malcolm Butler on the sidelines and put Eric Rowe, who couldn't cover your grandma, on the field. And that's how they got 41 hung on him in the Super Bowl.
Well, my grandma's
They should've
6'3",
won that game.
250 and runs a 4.4 40, so that's a bad comparison.
Yes, I
And
like
she puts back a fifth of
Confused.
Jack like
I like
nobody's
it.
business.
Dazed and confused, Fat Mike. Very good, but you're exactly
Hey,
right.
Of course, my grandma's
let's
6'3",
let's
250.
focus. Woosah, gentlemen. Woosah. Steven, I want you to go ahead and finish your analogy on it.
I'm thinking it's going to be personally. I think it's going to be 42-17. That's what I'm.
Wow, you're seeing a blowout.
I
Absolute
think
blowout.
they're going to beat. Because here's the deal: Belichick knows Brady. True, they've been together for almost 20 years, 19 years, something like that, 19, 20 years. But Brady also knows Belichick. He also knows the defense in New England. He also knows the defensive schemes. He also knows the walk. He's already said, I already know everything. I know what they're going to do. I know what they're going to say. I've been in those meetings. For 20 years, he's been sitting in those meetings. He knows what they're going to do. But they don't necessarily know everything we're going to do. Advantage
Cool.
Bucks.
Ray Kennedy.
And Steven, I'm going to go off of Steven's point. At this point, as far as this Buccaneers offense, these first 3 games, everyone in the league knows what they're going to do, right? They're going to go empty backfield or 12 personnel. They're going to put 17 receivers out there, and they're going to keep throwing the ball. And they're going to be successful a lot of the time. James White's injury to the Patriots hurts because he takes away that that would have been a grudge, not a grudge game, but everyone knows that the Bucs had wanted him to come here, and of course Gio Bernard comes here instead. But the Bucs win this game, and they win this game because Mac Jones is still a rookie, and Todd Bowles is going to cook some schemes up that are going to make that kid's head spin. But it's going to stay early, or it's going to stay close early because Belichick's going to have his team come out, and there's going to be a lot of punching in the mouth because that's what you do. You play for your coach. That is in the image of Bill Belichick. But again, I know I've been saying this all season, but the Bucs will have the pass first to get the points going, but then the Bucs will get the run going to continue to pad that lead and to wear the Patriots down, and the Bucs win this in a runaway.
Mike.
I like what Ray said there. I think the Bucs come out strong, put points up on the board early, and then just lock down time of possession. I think this is the week that the Bucs can actually work their running game and get it going, and just maintain the lead and get it going, and while forcefully running the rock. And Bill Belichick, listen, everybody knows he's a defensive fucking. He's amazing at coaching defense, and he's an amazing coach. But the advantage definitely goes to the Bucs. Like Steven said, 20 years in a New England uniform. Tom knows what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing that he hasn't seen at this point. There's nothing that, whether it be with the New England Patriots, whether it be against other teams while he was a New England Patriot, he's seen it all. I think the Bucs win this game in a landslide.
Peter, I saved this one last for you.
Yeah, emotions are going to be high in this game. Tom Brady returning to Foxborough after 20 years. Of course, Gronkowski, Antonio Brown with a little stint there with the Patriots. And, of course, coming after a big-time loss versus the Rams. Even B.A. mentioned it this week. This team seems like they're focused. in practice. They have the emotion. They're absolutely going to blow out this Patriots team. What's the cure for a struggling defense, ladies and gentlemen? A rookie quarterback who looks lost in the sauce, and that's exactly what Mac Jones looked last week versus a highly questionable Saints defense. The Bucs are going to win this game. They're going to win this game handily because Mac Jones doesn't have that experience that Tom Brady has. And, of course, this defense needs to have a big game. They will on Sunday Night Football in prime time.
You know, here, hey, Peter, can I follow you up on that? Totally agree. And the thing is, I want to ask you guys this. When Mac Jones becomes a starter and they let Cam Newton walk down the road, not that this isn't a good thing for the future of the New England Patriots. I think you start to, and Peter, you yourself said earlier, you got to get your quarterbacks playing young.
Yeah.
But if Cam Newton was in here, just predicated upon the fact that he saw us for 4 years as a Carolina Panther quarterback, and he knows this defense and his ability to bring it down, and the fact that he's been reading defenses for 4 years, the Bucs included, I would actually have a little more reservation in this game. I'd be like, well, you know, Cam can be Cam, and he seemed like he was healthy this year. They make the move to go to Mac Jones. Great job. 2 years from now, that pays dividends.
Cam can dress like Caitlyn Jenner and
That's
call
it.
it a night.
I mean, and he can make terrible decisions.
I feel bad for him.
Yes.
He can make terrible decisions off the field by, not getting vaccinated, getting sick, going out to clubs. He
Yes.
can also be a shell of himself. He cannot throw the ball down the field like he used to. On top of it, not only bad decision-making off the field, but also on the field. It wouldn't matter if Cam Newton were playing or Wayne Newton were playing. The Bucs would this game.
All right, guys.
I like that. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Tampa's going to New England. They're 7-point favorites. Brady versus Belichick. Student versus the pupil. 20 years later. 7 Super Bowls. Going for number 8. Did Brady make Belichick? Did Belichick make Brady? What came first, the chicken or the egg? That's the question. New England's defense is not playing what they should be playing like. However, that defense is a lot better than what it
Yes.
should be.
Mhm.
Okay? What does New England do with Bill Belichick better than any coach in the National Football League? He will take away their best player. It's not going to be Chris Godwin. It's not going to be Mike Evans. It's not going to be Antonio Brown. Bill Belichick is going to throw the kitchen sink at Tom Brady with pass rush up the middle. Tampa still wins this game big. But Brady better be careful, because if he gets more than 2 picks in this game's a lot closer than normal, because Belichick's going to do what Chicago should be doing. That's right. I threw Chicago in there.
Winning.
Play defense and run the football. You have a rookie quarterback. Tampa's defense right now is pretty banged up. Now, on the Tampa side of the ball, Bruce Arians, risk it, no biscuit. Bad move, ladies and gentlemen. Very bad move here, especially in this game. 13 runs. Let's just call it 10 runs, because 3 of them were by your quarterback, Tom Brady. Oh, and by the way, he led the team in rushing. You better run the football in this game, because New England is going to keep this game close. And if you let Bill Belichick hang around with a running game and he's going after your quarterback, he can upset you. But I think Tampa is going to realize what they need to do, because that's one thing I can honestly say. Bruce Arians does not want Tom Brady to get hurt. And that's exactly what could happen in this game, Tampa fans. He could get hurt in this game if he's going to sit back there and try to throw the ball 40 to 50 times. They better run the football. But I believe Tampa covers the game. I like it. I'm not giving it out, though. Very small position. It's not a pick that I'm actually going to feel good about. And I hate to use this terminology, but if you have to bet the game, because it's the only game on at the time, it's the 8 o'clock game, lay the 7 points. Last game? What do you think it is, Mike?
I know what it is, and I don't even want to fucking talk about it.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Detroit's at the Chicago Bears. We are going to start with Mike, since he doesn't want to
Don't start with me. Start with somebody else.
Okay.
I gotta calm down here because I'm ready to
Okay.
fucking
Whoa.
smash.
Why's
my
it gotta be
computer
me?
like a top.
Ray, Chicago's
Why is it-
Chicago's a 3-point favorite, even money. that means that the game is going to possibly go to 2.5, maybe 2. People aren't believing in this Bears team at -3. It also means that the Bears would be an underdog right now if they were in Detroit. Really sit back and think about that. Who do you like and why, real quick, Ray?
Well, I heard this week that they're going to actually go over to the local Catholic church here in Chicago and get the Sisters of St. Agnes. So they're going to bring them over and put them on the offensive line. So they might buy Justin Fields enough time to try to get something going on. You know, it wasn't just a fluke that the Lions lose by that 65-yard field goal. It's not 66. Dan Campbell's putting together there were pieces in place there. They've been drafting secondary there for a few years. Of course, they make the big change. They bring in Goff over here and they send Stafford back out there. So there's a lot of a lot of things going on there, mixed pieces. So this actually ends up, believe it or not, making it a competitive game because you got the other team that's got a brand new quarterback, and the other team's got a brand new quarterback, and Nagy can't find his ass from a hole in the ground, and Dan Campbell just wants to bite you in the knees on the way up. But I got to tell you, you said the Bears were by 3?
Yeah, right now. The game's going to be 2.5, 2 points, though. I'm talking about the Bears are going to end up -2.5, 2 points. Because
-2. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to just say I'd like the Detroit to cover the spread.
You like Detroit to cover the spread. Okay,
I'll just go that far.
And now we're going to go to Fat Mike real quick.
All right, I'm taking Detroit on the money line. Honestly,
off with your head.
I'm serious. I'm serious now, Harry. I'm serious now. The Detroit Lions, they went up against 3 high-powered offenses to start the year with the 49ers, the Green Bay Packers.
That's a good point.
And the Baltimore Ravens. All right, now, granted, they gave up 41 to the Niners, 35 to the Packers. But another high-powered offense last week in the Baltimore Ravens, they only gave up 19 points. That defense is starting to finally find its definition. Okay, and they're going to, and with a soft offensive performance last week out in Cleveland, with soft offensive performances the entire year out of the Chicago Bears, I say Detroit wins outright. I'm taking Detroit on the money line in this game. The Bears fucking suck. I'm taking Detroit on the money line.
Andrew,
I got Chicago on this one, Harry. Reason why is I think they're going to utilize. Well, they're going to utilize David Montgomery, and for all those fantasy owners that have Allen Robinson that've been very disappointed because of not opening the running game and not being able to pass because of the offensive line being so horrible, just like my Giants. Hopefully, he's more productive in this game after they finish running the ball so many times. So I got Chicago on this one.
Sounds good, Mr. Peter Blake.
I like the Chicago Bears in this game. They're going to put it together somehow, some way. Their backs are against the wall. They'll figure this out. Detroit has been playing over their head. More than likely, these matchups are always close, but at the end of the day, the Bears find a way to win. They pull out the victory and save Matt Nagy's job.
Ugh.
One of my top picks of the week.
Why did you have to end it like that?
Sorry,
Hey, Harry, before you go, let me ask you guys this. Is DeAndre Swift the real deal? I mean, he hasn't done anything like set the world on fire, but I've been watching this kid.
That's
a solid fantasy
question.
back.
Listen, DeAndre Swift is an SEC guy, okay? I mean, anytime you get a running back from the SEC, you have to really ask that question. They're all good.
You get him out of Georgia. Look, Todd Gurley, okay, Nick Chubb, and now DeAndre Swift.
Hey, Keyshawn Vaughn is SEC too.
Yes, Keyshawn Vaughn is SEC.
DeAndre Swift is a legit fantasy threat, man, especially with how
DeAndre Swift,
Detroit throws the ball to their running backs like that.
He's catching it. That's
something that Kerryon Johnson.
Got.
Who was there was another guy up there that was his fucking brains are scrambled eggs at this point. I forget what his name was, but he definitely has CTE. But
well, Ray actually left us for some reason. I have no idea.
I think Ruth stole him away there. They probably went to go see a movie together.
That's probably what it was. But anyway, let me go ahead and get in my little explanation here. Chicago, -3. Don't bet the game yet. They're even money. It's not a steal yet. This game's going to go to maybe 2.5, possibly even 2 points. I'd wait just before game time. I think you're going to get a really, really good line if you like the Bears. And I'm going to tell you why I like the Bears in this game. Detroit's not as good as what people are saying. Mike, be quiet. I can hear you in the background. That's actually pretty funny. In all honesty, I believe that Matt Nagy is going to probably give up partial play calling in this game. I really do. I think they're going to get it together and start running the football. The defense is going to come to life. Jared Goff's going to have a long day. I'm predicting 2 interceptions by Goff in this game, and I'm going to predict 6 points out of Chicago's defense. I do not see a high-scoring game in the beginning. If Justin Fields is playing, I think he's going to go off a little bit by running the football. I don't think he's going to have a really big day passing the ball. But they're going to play close to the vest. I think the defense is going to give this offense a short field. If you wait till game time, you'll get this at -2. Bear down. I have the Bears cover in this game. Another thing is the over and under is 42. Do not touch this game. Do not touch this game.
Don't touch on the over under.
No, do not touch the over under on this game being 42. If you like the over, remember what I say here. You must play Detroit. If you like the under, then you play the Bears. Mike, I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I said the fucking Bears can't put up any points. Why would you bet the over?
They will put up some points in this game.
Mike, you were actually referring to Theo Reddick, I'm assuming. Either that or Reggie Bush.
Perfect.
Theo Reddick, yes. Theo Reddick.
Yeah.
Adam, I know you got to get going. I want you to go ahead and promote yourself. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Facebook, Adam Perdomo Rivera, and Instagram, Adam_Perdomo Rivera. Alex and Dato and I are doing fantasy lineups every Sunday, and you can also find me here on Harry's show Friday nights, no Over and Under. And thank you, Mike, for the opportunity. Thank you, Harry, for the opportunity, and it was good seeing you, Peter.
Absolutely. Adam, have a great day. You can say it one time. You can say it. Go ahead. Go.
What? Go Giants? Hell no.
There you go.
They ain't going to win this weekend.
Perdomo Domo. Perdomo Domo.
All right,
have a great day,
Thank you very
Adam.
much, Adam Perdomo. Domo.
Domo.
See you guys.
Talk to you later, buddy. Fat Mike. Tell
Yes,
everybody
sir.
where they can find you, my brother.
You can find me here on 1252, but first and foremost, I want to say this. Welcome, Harry. I know I didn't get a chance to say it earlier when you were going in on your show. It's been nothing but a pleasure chatting with you over the last couple of months, and I am super happy to bring you onto the team here at 1252 Sports Chicago. It's been absolutely awesome. I loved your first show here. I can't wait to work more with you in the near future. It's been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for having me on here tonight, man. I really do appreciate it. You can find me over here at 1252. I don't have to. Everybody who's here knows exactly how to find me, so I don't have to say too much. But
Yeah, you got to give me a Go Bears.
Go Bears, go Bears.
You know you'll make me. You'll make me really happy if you say.
And I'm not saying it.
You
I'm not
gotta
saying
do it, bro. Just
one
one
round
time.
and out, baby.
Come on, man. I was a good wedding gift. Come on, man. Just one.
They're getting dumped by the Stros, baby. They're getting dumped by the Stros.
Okay, off with his head. Have a good night, buddy.
Take care, guys.
Well, now there's two. Peter, how the hell are you, brother?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. We're going to go ahead and recap a couple of games here, just so everybody's going to go ahead and keep record. I gave everybody the Chicago Bears -3. Don't feel too comfortable with it. Wait till game time. It's going to be -2. The other game I liked was the New Orleans Saints against the New York Giants. Definitely bet the over in this game. If you have to bet one side, play the Giants. That's not my pick, but play the over 41.5. San Francisco's at home against the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco's -3. The total's 52. Lay the wood. Lay the 3 points. Take San Francisco. I think they're an easy winner in this game. Baltimore, Denver. That's my star game of the week. Baltimore's getting a 1.5. Don't even bother. Don't even take the points. Put them on the money line. You're going to get a bigger return. Chargers at home against the Raiders. -3. If you wait a little longer, it might go to 2.5. But I'm not too sure. I think you need to bet them at -3. So let's recap. Chicago Bears, -3 or -2.5. New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, over 41.5. San Francisco at home, -3. My game of the week, Baltimore on the money line against Denver as an underdog. And the Monday night game, the Chargers, -3. Peter,
Yes,
I know that's quite a bit to you, but the people in the Midwest have never heard what your three famous things are, sir.
Well, it's the evolution of Sports Talk Television live on NSPN. And of course, I love St. Pete. And how do we say this, guys? There's a quiz afterwards if you don't know what it is. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, and you'll be able to find me right here on 1252 Sports with Harry the Greek, one of the best handicappers I know out there on Friday night. Thanks a lot.
Wow.
guys.
That's pretty cool, man. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, Peter. You take care of yourself.
Absolutely, my friend.
Cheers. We're going to get to the last comment of the night, and I believe this was Fred Swayze Moore. Fred, thank you so much for tuning in and watch us tonight. He says, great show, guys. Well, it's been a little longer than usual. I don't normally run this long, but when you have this many people with this many opinions, it can be a little tough and rocky. I want to thank Mr. David Schuster for calling in tonight. I want to thank everybody that was on the panel this evening. From my co-host tonight was Peter Blake, Ray Kennedy from Best of the Bay. Adam Padermo is going to be a permanent fixture on my show. Fat Mike, the proprietor of 1252 Sports. Who else am I missing? Stephen Glasker. A lot of people don't know what to expect, but always expect the unexpected. I love home underdogs. Always. We're going to see you next Friday night right here, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Over-Under. I'm Harry the Greek, and I always say, keep your bets low and your returns high. Have a good evening. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later.